What's going on there, guys? RDV here, along with Geekeasy and Eric Breen.
What's up?
Yo, what's up? Alrighty, guys. Kind of a crazy week. Hopefully, Diamond gets their crap figured out. But I heard that Massive Publishing is gonna do. They're gonna do their own little indie department, and they're gonna so basically through Lunar, you'll be able to order a lot of the indie books that usually come through Diamond through Lunar now. So that's gonna be kind of cool. You know, a lot of people are excited to get their books on time and not damaged. So another low blow to Diamond. And like I say, I'd rather have two places to go for if you're ordering books from, if you're a shop, versus right now they have three. They have Lunar, Penguin. I think it's called Penguin Random House, or just called Penguin. I think it's just called
Penguin Random House.
It is okay. That just sounds weird.
I'm assuming they merged.
Yeah,
because I remember Random House.
Yeah, that's how I was like. I feel like I'm merging two things. They're not supposed to be together. But no, Lunar actually so far has been a good company. I haven't heard anybody really complain about anything. As said, some of my shops that they preferred getting the discount they got through Diamond. That was, for being a long-term customer, and they don't get that with Lunar. So.
I'll unmute myself after this incredible sneezing fit stops.
Right. After these messages. No, but honestly, that is good news. I hope that Lunar does well and keeps thriving and looks at it with basically all the mistakes. Like, if you're going to be a new publisher and you're also going to be a new printing stuff, look at what Diamond did in the last 5 years and don't do that, and you'll be fine. But anyway, I got some new books today. Breen wasn't a chance to get his books. He was covering the record store, so we'll see his books next week. But I know Jeff, you got your books too.
Yes, I did.
Okay. You don't have to be
It would have been a really
interesting.
It would have been a really interesting stream if I didn't get them. It would be like, okay.
I have enough books here for a sharp box. I'm just saying, because I got back issues I bought at my shop today, and plus I got some books in from I got there basically that Engeltine was holding on to for ransom. They were from Breen to me, so plus some other books. All right, and hello to One Sick Lude. Hello to Jay Lucian, saying I politely asked the like button to select itself, and it does. You don't have to abuse it. Oh, well, you can if you want to. It's an inanimate object. You can't fight back. Anyway. Let's show us books. Alrighty. All right. Let's show the back issues that from last week that I picked up. So I did manage to get a hold of the Mike Barron's Badger issue 1 of 5, I believe, or 6, probably 5. I've never read Badger before, so I don't really know what to expect. So everybody says that's good. This is the creator of Badger. And I guess Val's a new artist. It's not the original artist, or is he?
Well, new to Badger.
Yeah. But he's worked with Mike
in the industry for almost 50 years.
Yeah. So I don't know who does the cover. If it is Val, it doesn't really list.
I would suggest.
It says an M, so I mean maybe
Merrick.
Okay.
I would suggest, and I'm sure you can find some in your ever-expanding dollar boxes.
Oh, yeah. I've seen
the
before.
Original series.
It's just hard to come by them now.
It's fantastic series. I sent you issue 1. Did you get that?
Maybe I did.
I mean, it might have been the last batch, but I sent that to you.
Yeah. All right. Arc Empty Void, which I did read. Did enjoy this series. I like a little more than Breen's. Breen's kind of on his way out, which is understandable. I mean, if it's not your thing, it's not your thing. But you gave it 2 issues, actually 3 issues. I think that's more than fair. All right. And then we are looking at Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu. Did not get a chance to read this, so I'll be reading this later on tonight after the show. But I haven't had any issue with Jeff McCabe. No, Jay McCabe. Is it right? Jay McKay? No, Jed. No, too many names here. Jed McKay. These are the parts where you edit out on other streams. So, but here we don't edit things out. We go live. Mike Barron doesn't miss. Who takes after him when he misses? But they ask. I love comments for that. Nightclub 2, which I did read last week, and I got the book, and I love this series. I think it's probably his best series going forward. And hello to Zach.
It's me.
Yes.
Who is that behind those Foster Grants?
I just
Ask your dad.
the guy
They'll
who's
explain that
looking at
reference to
screens
you.
all day.
Eh,
Foster Grants. Okay.
Are those yellow lenses?
They used to be a sunglasses brand, and of course, who is that behind those Foster Grants?
It's so
Guys,
the,
do we have a new person here
It's
today?
blue. It's blue light glasses.
okay,
I've been
because they
looking at my
kind of when
screens all day.
you tilt your head down, they look like yellow glasses. So you just got done hunting or shooting.
No, it's meant to keep the blue lights from the screens from
Yeah,
my
you
eyes
keep
from
the
hurting right
Democrats from getting in your eyes as you fire your gun away.
now.
All right. And then I picked up the facsimile from last week. Finally came in this week. So I've never read this story before. I look forward to reading it. And then we're getting to the books from this week. Number 6. Walking New Issue of The Walking Dead 100. So just more and more. If you've never read this series, I would if you can get a hold of the color issues, they might be or with your one, I would suggest color first. Or I mean, I read in black and white, and I read through it and I loved it, And as I'm going through reading through the color again, I'm noticing stuff in the artwork that I did not notice before because it didn't stand out because it was all whitewashed. Yeah. No, that was not a pun towards anything towards Zach. Jeez, guys. Be nice to Zach.
You were the one that said it.
Wow, I stick up for you and then you insult me. No respect. All right. Number 5 this week. It's Rockefellers. Overall, did enjoy the book, the story. I don't think it's the worst issue they put out, but it does set up some more unanswered questions. What is with the eyeball he's fooling around with? That Pedro Pascal is fooling around because dude, when you look at this book, even the art, that is Pedro Pascal. Every time I see the dad, let me show a picture, but you could easily have Pedro Pascal play the dad in this. Come on.
He'd probably be better at that than he is at Reed Richards.
Right? There you go. But like I said, overall, it's fun. It's a fun issue. Dog makes breakfast in here too. I'm like, is it a dog or is it a cyborg? Like attachments to it, or is it just a regular dog?
Crypto.
I think it's a robot. Overall, everyone gets a chance. At moment of shining here, the wife deals with sexual harassment at work and basically puts it and gets rid of it. Not gets rid of it, but I mean like deals with it, expertly, but not to the point where it's just like where it's just like preaching girl power, blah blah blah. It's not like that crap. Done well. Remember, this is Jeff Johns. This isn't Mark Russell.
No, that's Tomasi.
Is it Tomasi?
Yeah, it's Tomasi.
You know what? His writing kind of reminds you of John's, the way he writes.
Tomasi's writing the family
right.
stuff. Johns
it does,
is doing
but it does
remind War.
It does remind you of Jeff Johns though, a little bit. The way style he writes, some of the stuff, the pop. So I want to read.
Or John's reminds you of Tomasi because Tomasi was John's editor in the early 2000s.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, because when I read Junkyard Joe stuff like that, I get the same kind of vibe I'm getting in this book. Overall, the family's pretty good in here. I like this. It's been really well. We get to learn that his older brother is actually engaged. Well, has been engaged for the past 3 years or 3 months, but he didn't know. It sets up the villain, on the cover of the book. Well, not on this cover, but the main cover, coming to we don't know where she is, but she must be in the present day, I'm guessing. And she's got her lover there, who's some kind of like goo thing. They see him holding hands, and she has her own problems where she's starting to become unstable. So a little bit more information about that character, not too much. At the end, basically, it's all revealed. It's somebody's basically these two guys, and I believe it was in London, England, the Thames River, that they learned that somebody's been hacking their account. So is this the villain? Is this Rocket? Yeah, it might be the son. Yeah, maybe him or any of the Rockefellers. We don't know. But fun book. I liked it. All right, number 4. JSA.
I'm gonna mute this because I don't want any of it spoiled for me. We're not getting it until next week.
Hold on, I'm waiting for my computer to
That's
catch
a nice
up.
cover, though. That's a nice cover, though.
No, this is a Dale Ilshed cover.
Yeah.
Like I said, overall, it was a fun story. I'm not. It's just for Zach, and I know that anybody else who hasn't read it though, that you should be picking this up. You should be reading this. It's a fun story with Beth Chapel, waking up after she's been kidnapped. We get to learn about what's going on with Obsidian, and I will not say any more about that. Cool villains, cool fight, and just a fun series. Zach, I didn't spoil anything.
You done? You
I didn't spoil anything.
Oh, okay.
I just said it was a Beth Chapel story.
Okay.
And then
we're
something about Obsidian, and then I'll just say Obsidian's in the book. That's it. The real one.
I just know we're not getting it until we're not getting any of the DC books from this week until next week. The owners.
I hear you, dude. Like
because Diamond, they have the order, but just none of it got shit. There's actually a large number of indie stuff they didn't get this past week either.
Oh, all right.
Really
number 3. Fun story. Cobrelado, I guess he's from I gotta go back and watch the cartoon series. It's been a long time, but one of their classic villains comes in his resurface. Raphael was sent out to go get pizza. Some goons hold up the place. He runs into Casey Jones. They go undercover. Then they find April, who had been kidnapped at the end of last issue, and they take down this guy. The villain gets away, and then at the end, because Michelangelo was upset that Raphael got out on meditation stuff, and stuff. They learned on the news what happened, and Raphael forgot to bring the pizza home, so Michelangelo was upset. He almost died. Overall, fun story. If you love the cartoon series, you're a fan of that. Just nostalgia. Eric Burnham and Dan Schoening just knocking out of the park on this. Like I said, just the rubber face mask. You've probably seen on some of the toys when you're little. When they go out in the public, they put a mask on, look human, and wear the trench coat and the hat. Overall, I said just fun. I just love the art. Dan Schoening is a phenomenal artist, and he deserves to be on more books. And definitely one of the art from underutilized artists. All right, number 2. Green Hornet and Miss Fury. Wow. I don't know where to start on this. It's just a very fun series. Someone's going around taking out murdering heroes. These two are reluctant to work together, and it's real that they know each other's secret identity. Kind of feels a little bit like the Long Halloween. I think that was where did Bruce just first discover that Selena Kyle was Catwoman? Was it a Long Halloween, or was it actually in the actual main continuity, Brain? Do you remember? Or Evil Black Cat? Anybody's watching? But Kato is pretty much pissed off at Brett in this, so he's not really in there. They're not there on the outs. Britt's pretty much tired. He goes paper. He flirts with his secretary. I'm not sure. I've never really read Green Hornet. I'm not a big expert on this, but I don't know if him and his personal secretary were dating or whatever. But she gets a little bit jealous with the fact that he was seen with the Miss Fury's under her, basically her real persona, at a function. And yeah, it's just another fun book. Kato shows up at the end. They show the villain, Benuth, and she's kind of like a Harley Quinn villain. Let me show the villain. This is her. I don't know if she's from another series. Kind of like a Harley Quinn villain. And then she
looks a little bit more like what is it, Punchline or something like that?
Yeah,
a little bit more like that.
Punchline would have been kind of a little different, but overall though, a lot of people getting stabbed in this issue. Black Beauty, the car gets blown up. So anybody who owns that car is R.I.P. But very fun series. Number one issue of the actual, or actually my number one pick for this week is just overall just fun. Terror and Fury with a team up with Mango, from Mango and Bunny series, who's in a scope. The Terror starts to remember his past, what happened to his wife and children, how he signed up for the Super Soldier program during World War II. He basically, it's really messed up. He remembers how he died. But basically, they're attacking these vampires back in 1942. They went into this Nazi base. The guy he was working for screwed him over, it was a Nazi camp, but they end up going to Hiroshima too, and he's basically left to die with Hiroshima. The reason why it says the reason why they bombed Hiroshima with the nukes, because vampires were taking over the city that were not afraid of the sunlight, so they dropped the nuke on him while he was there. So he remembers everything, and pretty much him and Fury are just basically kicking ass. I love it when there's a showing a part when he remembers his past. That he's got the Captain America shield, but he does something that Captain America doesn't do. The shield
chops the guy's head off with it.
Well, he does do that. He does do the John
Walker.
John Walker, and does that.
Yeah, but Captain America did that in one of the vampire things.
He did.
Well, he does it to actual Nazis, not undead. I thought that was interesting.
Oh, okay.
You're trying to find the actual page. They really in this year he's before Captain America there was the Terror. I don't know if he predates Captain America, or is this their own version doing this? Yeah, here he goes. He drops down and he throws the shield. It bounces and takes the guy's head off. So I like that. Yeah. Like I said, overall, it's very fun. I love this. And that is it for my new issues.
Hey, One Slick, was that back when she was wearing she was actually wearing a cat mask over her face? Is that back when
1950? She probably was wearing the purple costume with the mask. Yes,
probably.
And the dress too. So, all right. Who wants to go
packing
next?
a purse? Okay, Zach, do you have any?
I do, actually. It'll be rather short. I don't have a ton. Like I mentioned, my shop didn't get in a lot of books this week, which is kind of a letdown. I did get this, though. They didn't have this last time when it first came out. I'm not even the big one on the screen yet. There I am.
There you are.
I actually picked up issue number 1. I didn't have number 2, but I did get number 1. It was all right, a decent setup. Very wordy though, not as much action as I would have liked to have seen. So hearing you talk about 2 gives me a little bit of something to keep me continuing this. But if I didn't know about that, I probably wouldn't go back for number 2 just because of how wordy this was. Interesting premise though.
It's not too wordy. It kind of sets it up. I said, but the next issue does have, like I said, does have some words in here. Not
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah. So this is, if this is a setup issue, gonna be some exposition. I get that. Thankfully, it seems like
it is Alex Segura, though, the guy who's working on what's it called? Dick Tracy.
Yeah, Dick Tracy guy. Yeah. See, but that's an issue that's not as wordy though. So.
Well, that's because he had a different co-writer.
Yeah. We got Rockefellers issue number 3. I think somebody in the Discord or somebody in the Twitter group mentioned that the cover is kind of misleading because it doesn't really focus so much on the creepy villain right here.
Your microphone's really far away from you. We can't hear you.
Right in front of my face. What are you
now it's about? Better. Now we can hear you.
Hang on. Let me check the audio. Let me make sure that it's using my headset microphone and not.
No, it was your microphone was pushed away.
It is. You sound really good now.
Okay.
Now you moved it close. Now we can hear you. Because I'm like, dang, did my audio drop?
Yeah, no. It just picks up, just gives you like little bits and insights into the family, what they're doing. The son's 3D printing stuff. The dog cooks breakfast. That's actually the most entertaining part for me is the dog cooks breakfast. The wife goes on like these polar bear ice plunges. Which is like okay. Interesting enough issue. I'm waiting for it to pick up. I'm waiting for the ball to kind of get rolling a little bit faster. Unusual pick this week because I haven't been picking up this series, but I went back and I picked up issue number 22 and issue number 23 of the Avengers from Jed McKay and Farhad Karami doing the art. Really,
because Black Cat's in there.
Black Cat, but also the artist. Farhad, I think I'm saying his name right. Farhad Karami. This is the guy who did that issue of Daredevil a while back that She-Hulk was in. Really, really good artist. I don't know if he's the I think he's the cover one here.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's really good on the cover.
He draws Black Cat very well. It does say that she's the newest member of the Avengers on the cover. The story so far doesn't sound like that's the case. If anything, she's kind of an antagonist to the Avengers in this. But it's a fun enough story. It's entertaining enough. I mean, I'm not expecting it to be, great or anything. Basically, the Avengers, and I didn't have to read a whole bunch of previous issues to understand what was going on. It kind of ties into the first storyline or the first story arc where the Avengers are trying to find information about this missing minute that Kang had told them about. And it's being auctioned off at the Grandmaster's casino in outer space. And so the Avengers plan a heist to go steal it. But by the time they get to the safe, the Black Cat's already helped Kang steal it. It's kind of wild and out there, but the art is really good. I did like I said, the artist is really good. I heard that he's supposed to be taking over as the new main artist. If that happens, I will probably be adding Avengers to my
I read that. That's last week's issue. You're talking about with the stealing. Go ahead. Yeah, the heist.
This week, this is the new one from this week, 23.
Where's your tease of the Kang?
Yeah, 22 was a week or two ago.
Okay.
But this is the newest one right here. Judd McKay's written Black Cat before too, so I feel like he's got a pretty good handle on the character. It was, like I said, it was entertaining. I liked it. I think there's one more issue to go of this current story arc, and then it goes back to their main artist. But then, like I said, I think this guy, Karami, I think he's supposed to be coming on as...
I didn't mind the original artist. I mean, it doesn't make a difference to me. As long as I can tell what's going on. I don't like... My problem
I don't mind the current artist, but this new guy, he's really good. Like, I follow him on Twitter. He's got a very good... I don't know. The way he draws, his outlook on it, it's really good.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Glocks and Grippers? Saying I really need to get back into comic books.
Yes.
It is pricey.
It is.
I would recommend
budget yourself, sir.
checking out indies. Indies have really stepped up their game compared to the Marvel and DC stuff. But there are a few Marvel and DC books that are still good.
This one was really good. I was interested in seeing how this was going to turn out. Did not disappoint. I rather enjoyed this. It's taken a wild turn. It's been a wild ride. I'm very pleased with how it's kind of happened. Everything's kind of getting a nice little bow wrapped on it.
Dude,
I think the next issue is the last one of this volume. Good stuff though. Resurrection.
if you would have told like early 20s me that I'd be reading more Mark Millar books, you'd be like,
Bro.
I'm not gonna read that because I saw
Dude.
Ultimates and I was like done. But
Dude,
these have been
Ultimates is
fun.
Great. What are you talking about? Ultimates is
Compared
great.
to some of the early Avengers stuff, it was very edgy. Like I said,
Well, yeah, that was the point of it.
I know, but I'm like, I don't need Captain America's John Walker.
Speaking of Ultimates, my number one book of the week is Ultimates. This is issue number 9.
The audio's going a little quiet, bro.
I'm about to... I never have any other issues when I use this on my PlayStation.
I don't know. Is your
Nobody says
cord
anything.
just like becoming unplugged?
No, this is charging. It's a wireless headset.
So maybe that's interfering when you move your head. I think I don't know.
Maybe. This one, excellent one shot kind of a story. This kind of gives us the backstory of Luke Cage, and he's been in prison since he was 15. They unjustly lock him up in prison, and he's in prison for 20 years. Actually meets Danny Rand. Danny Rand is a fellow.
What do you think of Danny Rand's appearance in this book?
I didn't mind it too much, honestly. I mean,
Pussy.
Excuse you.
We can get to your turn when it's your turn. Look, he's not a main character in here.
No.
He's only in a couple of panels.
But
I
would
didn't
you
mind it, though.
have
The
known
dragon
as Danny
tattoo,
Rand?
The dragon tattoo on the arm.
Yeah.
You know, it was all right. I didn't hate it. He doesn't get a whole lot of attention.
He looked
here.
like Logan Paul to me.
This is a very Luke Cage story. But, you know, he's locked up in this penitentiary, which is run by a corrupt... Yeah, it looks like it's AIM. I thought it was the AIM beekeepers, but it's like the Midas Corporation.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad I'm not the only one who was taking aim when I saw those outfits.
I thought it was AIM too, because I was like, these are the beekeeper outfits.
But
why
this is
does
also-
it say Midas instead of
It's
AIM?
also more than one place because it seems like he
Yes.
keeps getting switched around from place to place to place.
Yes, he gets
And-
moved to multiple facilities. Yes.
Yeah, but he was sentenced from, and I thought this was a little odd, 1 year to life.
1 year to life. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because originally the lawyer's like, oh, you'll get out in a year, but then we see he ends up staying stuck in the system.
And
for
I
20
think
years.
that's because the maker's doing, because he knows he's a threat.
Yeah. Oh, most definitely. And so while he's in prison, he's like, he's trying to like lead revolt against the prison guards and everything, and
Mm-hmm.
he gets beat up all the time. This is before he gets one night. Iron Lad shows up. Tony Stark shows up with his powers in a box, basically.
Yeah.
And he accepts it and makes him the Luke Cage that we all know about. And Iron Man was like, "Okay, welcome. Great, you got your powers. You're on my team now." And Luke Cage basically says, "Actually, I'm going to stay here because I feel like I can do more good in here rather
I
than."
feel
join
like
the
if
super
they
team."
ever adapt this into a cartoon for Disney XD, it'd be like, hit the green check mark to get your powers, hit the X. It just like the whole thing. They just make a whole joke out of it.
Yeah.
Now, was other dude Static?
Static is DC.
Static's DC, bro.
Okay, then definitely no, it was not.
Definitely not. But then we
Nor
also
was it
get
Black Lightning.
a little thing at the end where, a few issues ago they said Ultimate Iron Man is dead. Clearly not the case because his eye opens up.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
flipped through this issue at the store. I saw that at the end. I was like, because I'm not reading. I'm like, oh, he almost got killed. I'm like, that was quick.
Oh no, he it straight up was like Iron Man is dead because like the Ultimate Hulk basically like banged him, like broke his back, and She-Hulk was like the very last page. I think it was issue 6 or 7. Was like Iron Man's dead, and they put him in this healing tank. He's just kind of been stewing in there, and now his eyes open.
You know what it is?
So
You know what it is? He's healing like Goku while his friends are in need.
yeah,
He's-
there you
needs
go.
a-
Rob?
Back to
Maybe,
tank.
but overall, this was I thought it was a good issue. Definitely a major improvement over the last one, which was like the Guardians of the Galaxy one with America Chavez's origins. Didn't care too much for that one. Didn't add a whole lot to the story. This one is a significant step
Did they
up.
change your origins though in this?
She was part of the Ultimate Guardians of the Galaxy. She's still a lesbian.
Nothing about her
Shocker.
having two moms.
No, nothing about her having two moms.
I'm
the
shocked.
two moms, the Utopia bit, that wasn't part of this.
Well, that was retconned even in the main universe.
Yeah. But no, this one though was good though. I enjoyed this one. So I'm still waiting for Popeye, Absolute Superman, and JSA. And probably won't get those till next week.
Popeye? Did you notice that it was the number 6 was scheduled to come out next week? So I'm a feeling it got pushed back.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Wait, number 6 or number? I thought it was number 4.
5 was supposed to come out this week, and then I think it's number 6 for next week.
That's really weird because that's really sudden. Because normally they're spread out like on the release dates.
With Diamond, I think they're the ones that are delivering. Or I don't know, but I mean,
that's wild. Issue number 1 came out in August of last year. Then issue number 2 came out in October, 2 months later. Then number 3 was November. Now 3 months later is issue number 4, and then next week is number 5. That is wonky.
Yeah, I'm just saying whatever was supposed to come out this week, I think it's definitely got delayed, pushed back.
Yeah. Well, hey, if I get both issues next week, that's a.
No, I think 6 might not come. It's like remember when Samurai Dog.
I only see 5 issues. I don't see 6.
Oh, was it? Okay, it was only 5 issues. Okay, I'm so used to 6-issue miniseries, so when they throw a 5 in there, it throws me off.
Yeah, right. But yeah, that's it for me though. That's all I got. Not a huge week for me, which is good for my wallet. But I know next week it's gonna just, especially with the books I didn't get, next week is gonna be my wallet's gonna cry when I leave the shop.
Right. All right, that's it. No back issues.
No back issues.
All right.
Just my spine.
All right, Geekeasy.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, next week's gonna be like 15 books.
Righty then. $15, my good man.
15 books. I wish it was 15 bucks. 15 books is gonna cost me like 50
Put that shit in my hand.
That's what I was getting at.
I know.
I get to meet him in a couple of months, by the way.
Jason Mewes, awesome.
Yes.
Better than mixing. You know what though? I feel like I'd rather hang out with Jason Mewes versus Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith would weird me out
because he actually had issues, sort of like I did.
I never found Kevin Smith that entertaining. He always seemed to.
That's what I said. I said I'd rather hang out with Jason Mewes.
Yeah.
Okay. I got these yesterday. I've been dealing with stuff, so I didn't get to read them all.
It's okay. Happens when you get old.
It happens when you're young too.
Well, yeah, and also I've been dealing with my hospital stay and all this other fun stuff.
Ooh.
I mean, you can see my eye here. It's just.
Did you get in another fight?
That's what I'm saying. Got into a bar fight with a bunch of bikers, and sissies really can throw a 12-speed.
You shouldn't have went to the bar. That's remember. But you're gonna get a fight at Costco.
But no, it was a. I had an infection that came from my ear and here, and then it spread into my eye. And my sister, who's a nurse, had to sit there and say, I went to the ER Friday, and then I also went Monday, and they admitted me, and I didn't get out until Wednesday morning. And I guess my sister, she talked to the doctor, and she's saying it was very, very, very dangerous. And
then when you went in there, they found other things under the hood. You're like, I gotta charge you for this. You should upgrade this.
Yeah, but I guess it could have been. I almost left, but she's saying stay. They said I could have lost my eye if it went bad enough.
The whole thing with anything ear infection, your center of balance goes off, all that stuff. Especially hits.
Yeah, but it. Whenever the weather changes and that stuff, and it was all swollen. That's why I wasn't on camera much last week. It's because my ear was all.
I thought you were just being nice.
No, I mean my face was all swollen up and stuff like that. And then my Saturday morning my eye was swollen. Sunday my eye was so swollen it was shut and it was just huge. Oof. And then Monday it was the same thing, and they're like, and dry, and my sister's like, yeah, you better go in. And they looked at me, and I was getting IVs in both arms. And they're like, yeah, you're not going anywhere. They just wouldn't let me go.
Yeah.
But so
we're glad that you're still here and you're still able to have coherent thoughts.
Well, thoughts anyway. Okay, I think I've got 10. This right here, this is the facsimile of the original one, I think.
Is
Nice.
that okay? When I saw they came out, I'm like, did they just do another third printing of that? I didn't read the title. I saw it come out. I was like, is it not? I put it as DC. They did the Noir version. They do another version now. No,
this is one of 13, and it's just
very good series. I do recommend getting the trade, the hardcover one that recently came out, the deluxe. If you don't have it, otherwise you can still find the original trades at some of the stores.
Yeah, and it's I don't think I've ever got them all, so I just might wind up getting the whole thing, but
Sure.
I don't know.
I do
have the trade paperbacks and stuff.
I know some people like having the trades and the floppies. It's just something about that. It's like having. It's like
I normally don't do. I mean, if I get the floppies, I have to really like the series to get the trade as well. But this would be something that I'd do that with.
Yeah,
and,
I'm usually the opposite. It's like if I like the series, I've been collecting it. I sell the floppies and I just grab a trade.
Yeah. And speaking of trade, I might have to get Fight Club 2, the trade, just because
you missed so many issues.
I still haven't gotten that one that both of you guys have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I don't know how much of it I'm missing, just because the stuff isn't coming. So I'm just.
Is the shop? Did you talk about the shop? They don't know. They ordered some.
They have issues with getting stuff, and now they just have their convenience of, oh, it's Diamond. You know, it's like, yeah, dude, you guys are.
I mean, it could be also you're in Alaska. That's kind of hard to get up there. You know?
I'm gonna
here's the
have
thing,
to get
though.
the trade for Prodigy because they missed the last 2 issues of Prodigy.
Any other year, it'd be hard to get in Alaska with the snow, but this year it's been dry.
Yeah, we still have. We have had less snow since November than you've had down there, Zach.
I heard about
more
that.
Snow than us.
I've heard about that. That is insane to me.
No, just kidding.
So this Saturday, I'm supposed to get 3 inches of snow up here. So I'm hoping it's just like 1 inch.
We had 8. We
had
8 inches.
3, that's that much, right?
So, Zach, how long did it take for it to go bye-bye?
It snowed on Tuesday, and it had pretty much all melted away by Thursday
Friday
night, maybe early Friday morning. There might have still been some on a few rooftops.
Yeah, as I see,
we had our big snow, I think, like on the 7th, and there are still, like in business parking lots where they pile them all into make snow mountains. There are still piles taller than me.
Well, today the weather, it's been 70 degrees all week. It's like it just flipped.
Oh, you poor thing.
It went from cold to hot, no middle ground.
Oh my gosh, it went from cold to hot?
We hit 69 the other day.
Nice.
We had
like 3 or 4 days in the 60s. But it was just so high when it started. I mean, there's none left anywhere other than parking lots. But still,
the highest temperature got here in Wisconsin was 55 degrees. And that was about a week or 2 ago. We're back in the single digits.
We went up to 40 degrees, which is unbelievable up here this time of year, down to like 2 and going sub-zero, and now today it is 20 degrees at 5:45.
You guys can't have that warm weather. The Klondike bars will melt.
It's also that is also what I'm gonna, if I ever open a lesbian bar up here, I'm gonna name it Klondikes. But what
would you do for a Klondike?
Open a bar. Number 9, the Atom Project #2.
Oh, how is that one?
It's interesting. They are working on. I don't know if you know the premise on this.
Yeah, kinda.
I have the different atoms. They are tasked with. I guess they're finding a way to put people's powers back into them, but they have to go find them sometimes and get them back. And they were going after Captain Atom, who lost his powers.
So I had heard whatever the last crossover story they did. They appeared in. They I think it was with Plastic Man, or no, it might have been JSA.
Yeah.
No, not JSA. It was the Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah. No, it was the. Yeah.
It was I think it was a preview I saw for this. I think they restored Plastic Man's powers. I guess they thought of a way to do it all at once.
Oh, they haven't done it yet on this one.
Okay.
But
they're in a stage of that plan. They might have idea. So I don't know. Yeah, I said like were those supposed to come out before some of these issues where they're showing the previews.
I don't know, but I guess it's weird enough that now Palmer's the one by my hand here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that one's
Choi-
Palmer.
Choi's-
The other one's Choi.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Japanese one is Choi.
And I guess they can get small enough that they can like get down to see an atom and recognize what type of power is being used, because one of them noticed that someone was using a Speed Force thing.
You can always tell which one's smarter, but or which one it is. Whoever's got the smartest math,
Well, I could just go with one route and say it's the Asian guy that's smarter, but we also have a superpowered bear.
Oh,
Nice.
They have to get the power.
Ooh, I'm
Get
getting
the power back from
Stargirl flashes. Remember Stargirl?
I'm getting New Mutant.
Oh no! It wasn't Stargirl. It was Stargirl. Was it? No. Who was hanging out with Jay Garrick's daughter at the mall? Was that Stargirl?
That was Stargirl.
Yeah. Remember they had the bear?
Yeah. I was thinking New Mutants with the D.
And I guess, and I guess he Captain Atom has like Speed Force powers too, but he's doing stuff like that.
He's got Firestorm's powers. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's getting kind of power, but I guess he just set something off. But yeah, speaking of Firestorm, I want to
bad tackle.
I want a Firestorm Omni.
You want a Firestorm on you? Oh, that's not good.
Omni.
I think it's on me.
And 9. Okay, number 8. I guess I missed number 2, but
don't worry. Number 2 was probably her just complaining about she can't control her powers.
Yeah, I guess
Firestar as an alcoholic is not something I would have thought I had on my bingo card.
So yeah, they got 2 of them on the same team then, I guess, huh?
It's weird seeing Ultron getting redemption arc. I want Ultron to betray them at the end and say, you guys are freaking idiots.
But there's more than one Ultron now.
Yeah, that's what
There's a whole
there's
group
always
of
been more than one Ultron.
Really?
We have Vision. We don't need to have
but there's
Ultron.
a whole group of them, and they're still all trying to find a way to they aren't connected anymore.
You know what it reminds you of?
What?
You could swap out this Ultron that's on a team and put a Doombot in there and say he's good.
Yeah, but they're all
they
aren't connected anymore, and they're all trying to find different ways to still want to destroy humanity, but they're all doing different ways. And one of them starting a new religion or something like that. But
they could just take away our jobs.
Yeah, it's true. But that she looks sort of like Firelord right there, a little bit. A little bit. I do like the old outfit, but they're also starting a new thing.
Yeah, I saw that too. And to Tony Fleeks, that's probably one of the best things coming off of Marvel this year is going to be the Tony Fleeks thing. Tony Fleeks is a good writer.
Was that Jigsaw down on the bottom?
I don't know.
Down there?
You know what? He's shirtless. He's got a weird thing on, collar. It might be him. Who knows? It's after 2015. I don't recognize some of the villains anymore. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that was even the Rhino on the cover. It might have been someone else.
And then we have this.
Oh.
Didn't think it was as good as Zach did.
I'd say it's good for a standalone.
Yeah. But here is there is the hair. That is not that's the first thing I wouldn't think of was brand right there.
It's the Freakazoid hair.
Yes, thank you. That's what. And then then you look, I can see why. That's why I thought AIM. I mean, take a look at that right there.
Well, yeah, it looks like I thought it was AIM too. He told me something else other than AIM, But I like Luke Cage has got his 70s fro.
Yeah, I was gonna say the blaxploitation movies,
Yep.
And then next is this. It's getting better. Looks like
Andrews.
Turns out that I missed number 3. I don't know if I want to go back and get it, but it's getting.
I wish our buddy Jay, who's the big stand for that, would have came on because he had some choice words about that book.
Jimmy Olsen.
Well, that's the thing. He didn't know it was Jimmy Olsen until he's like, "Who's that feminine-looking girl?" It was like,
and they call him Olsen. They call him Olsen. He goes, "Oh, you can call me Jimmy."
Yeah, he kind of scared me because I was like, anyways, we've seen Captain. Was it Falcon and the Winter Soldier? There's that one girl boss, and he said like, "There's a girl boss in there." It's like, and I'm leaving as I'm like, and he showed the photo. I'm like, and then he's like, "That's Jimmy Olsen." I'm like, "Are you sure?"
I've heard from somebody who I agree with this thing. If you're like a James or a Tom or something like that, once you're above a certain age, you should not be Jimmy unless that's actually your name.
I don't
or
mind the Jimmy
Tommy.
Olsen, James Olsen.
Yeah.
My thing is that draw him not looking
Yeah.
like a girl, and that's probably one of the downside probably of this artist.
Yeah.
Who is the artist on the book? I know it's Jason Aaron's writing it.
Sandoval. Let me see.
Oh, okay. What's the last name? Sandoval. Okay. Okay.
Let me see.
Whatever, Jeffy, says Jay.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, at least you spelled the first part right, so you got to get then
When I was younger and I saw the pronounced, I'm like, oh, is it pronounced? So it comes like Geoff.
I get that so much. I actually, and I just kind of blow it off. People being a tad bit uneducated.
It's like if you put the ear like the RE, it's like Jeffrey. It's like Goffrey.
Yeah, and I get that more often than you'd believe, and I was like, okay,
I believe it, man.
Don't know any better. But there's one really annoyed the piss out of me, and I'm still remember this to this day. And how long ago this was? 10th grade. I had an English teacher mispronounce my first name, and I was just like, "You have an English degree, and you don't know who Geoffrey Chaucer is?" Yeah, I didn't do too well in that class. She was not happy with that.
I will not school the teacher.
Yeah. And then, so this was, I guess, the next one. This is the last one that I've had time to read. I'm almost done with it.
Oh yeah. So you read the first issue. Now you're in the second issue.
Yes.
What do you think of it so far?
I like it. I really do. It's actually I'm down to the last page. I just
yeah. But overall, you've read most of the story, so you know what's going on and stuff.
Yeah,
and
I'm digging it.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, wait a minute, there's Nazis in Hiroshima, but then I realized what they're doing and all that stuff.
This is Punisher America. This is Frank Castle as the as Captain America, which he was for a limited time. He did do that until the real Captain America put a stop to it.
That's right. And then most people, that's Toys R Us. Thank you. But then I have 4 left that I haven't had a chance to read. And this was all, see, I always put myself in the order that I am going to read it.
Yeah.
Or that I think that I always save the stuff that I know is going to be what I think will be best last. And sometimes I'm wrong.
Yeah, I do that too. I mean, I know what books I really like, so I read the other ones, which I may not like as much first.
And, if there's a book that I don't know, that'll be always on the top. But then it turns out that some of those are the best books that I've read. So it's just like, but.
Yep.
And this is weird because this is a Jordi Belair book. Colors by Jordi Belair. This is Belair. But The Exorcism at 1600 Penn. Number
Chris Penn's house.
3. Yes. Chris Penn, he's dead, and I've met him. Nice guy. He was loaded.
Probably when you met him, probably. A lot of those guys are alcoholics, or they're just severely beasts. And sometimes, when they have both a combination, it is killer. And
yeah, it was a Friday night. It was in Santa Monica on the Santa Monica, little strip there. Not the pier or anything like that, but
no.
But there's
that'd be weird if you met him on the pier.
I was eating in Johnny Rockets, and he was in there with somebody. But the only thing I don't like about this is the art is a little rough.
Yeah, it's kind of the same art I'm getting in Hex House.
Yeah, that sort of gives me.
It's not the best art,
Yeah,
but it's like I said, as long as the story is appealing to me and I can make out what's going on, who the characters are.
Yeah, and this is it's almost a turnoff for me. But I
don't
like
want you getting turned on by your books.
I don't want to do a Chuck Schumer or anything like that.
Well.
But yeah, it's a pretty good book. So,
alrighty.
Number 3, and of course,
Mhm.
I'm liking the new direction of this series because it looks like they're going more out onto the street now.
I didn't notice it until now because I glanced at the cover. I never really studied it. Those are donuts flying because he's on a cop car.
Yes. And
so, yeah, that's great.
Jed McKay, I like it how he's taking this stuff back out onto the street.
Taking it to the streets.
Yeah. And I still think Dr. Stedman there. I think there might be something going on with her. I think she might be a bad guy. But
the Baroness, G.I. Joe crossover.
the one that nobody ever asked for, but we're getting.
She reminds me of she was during the Dark Reign stuff. She was like the secretary to them, to Osborne, Mrs. Hand or something like that, or whatever her name was. Valerie something.
Mr. Hand?
No, I didn't Mr. Hand.
Then I guess there's this, so some people would be really excited for it.
Yeah, I heard about that. There's also Spider-Man versus Godzilla too.
Yeah. And I'm not a big kaiju fan, but
yeah,
I didn't know that. I didn't realize until just recently that Godzilla is Jewish.
Really?
He's a kaiju.
Wow.
Okay. Not a bad joke, but just.
Are you ending it on that?
No, I'm not. I've got 2 more to go.
Dear God. I hope it's books. You got 2 more to go with.
Yes. If there's 2 more jokes like that, I'd see myself out. Number 4 of Batgirl.
Really? You're real Batgirl.
Yeah.
Who is the creative team on that? And why are you spending money?
It is Cassandra Cain.
Well, no, the creative team, not who the Batgirls. We know it's say Kelly Thompson.
No.
Lee Williams.
Tate Bromball.
Okay.
And I guess this is only a 6-parter. So this is. I just realized that this is only a 6-issue one, 406. Tate Bromball is the writer. Takashi Mizawa is the artist.
So you've been picking it up, reading this all up to this point, or did you just randomly pick up this issue?
No, I've been reading the whole thing. It's pretty good.
That's good.
She's her mom is coming to try and save her.
Oh yeah, the Lady Shiva part, yeah.
Yeah, going to do because I guess there's some rival group to the League of Assassins that are after her, and so she's trying to
the Court of Owls.
No, it's a group I'd never heard of.
I'm just saying, because when I think of the rival to the League of Assassins, would be the Court of Owls, because they have their talons and stuff.
Yes. And then the last one, and I haven't read it yet, and I'm kind of annoyed that I'm still doing it because I heard that he wasn't going to be the writer wasn't going to be on the title anymore.
Oh no!
But he still is. But
oh yeah,
Zarsky. Yeah, but it's still getting a little better.
I
guess they kind of Commander Star.
I thought I said Commander Steel at first, so it's Commander Star.
Yeah, but I guess maybe they're just kind of reeling him back in a little bit.
So I think March is when Jeff Loeb jumps on the book.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I've got it says where basically my link communities will let me know, hey, it's time to buy Batman again. Yes. So until then, I'm like 50 feet away, please.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to do. I was going to do that until I was doing that until someone else was coming back on the title, and then I thought,
yeah, there only is one Batman book you should be picking up every month it comes out. It's called Batman Dark Patterns.
I think I got the first one.
It was a little mini series, but it's really good. It's better than the main title.
Yep, and that is.
To be fair, I'm not reading the current main title because I dropped because it started to suck really bad. So maybe the series did get better, but it sounds like you being a Batman fan, we're not happy with that issue. So
I haven't read it. This the last one. The last couple have been okay.
oh, okay.
The best Batman title that I'm reading right now is Batman and Robin, where
Year one or the other one?
the both actually.
Okay.
That
yeah, I like the Mark Waid year one.
The Mark Waid one is surprisingly good, and the non-Mark Waid one, the ongoing series, is good. And the Tom Taylor detective isn't bad, but I'm waiting for him to screw it up. Then I'm just gonna go, you know.
See, Tom Taylor on certain books, he's mediocre.
Yeah.
You know, he's not. He's not until it's only when I don't like him is when he starts making stupid retcons.
Yeah.
Like he did. What he did with Nightwing having a sister.
Yeah. And I'm waiting for him to do something like that.
It was such a stupid thing because the only thing he reason to do it because we all know because he wanted a royalty check.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
I mean, you put him on, stuff like Deceased, out of continuity, he is fantastic. You put him on titles that, where stuff matters and stuff like that, it's like, yeah, no, he's...
Like, he wrote, was it a six issues, I think it was, of a Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man book? And it was actually pretty decent. Because it had nothing to do with ongoing, series whatsoever. And obviously it was basically he just should have just put on a trade. I don't know why they released the individual issues at this point, because when you stretch a story out to 6 issues, which could be just done as a one shot, I don't understand it. But
because it was written for the trade.
I would rather just get the trade. Don't release the individual issues. Quit trying to milk that crap.
Yeah.
Like Billy Brubaker, be confident in your book. Release it all at once.
Yeah, but Brubaker is so much more talented than Tom King.
Of course he is. But
Taylor or King could ever be.
But you imagine if they didn't do the miniseries, they just released the trade and you picked up the trade.
Yeah. I mean, I think Brubaker has more talent in his left pinky fingernail than either one of the Toms do.
Most people do. Anyway, though, that is it for you?
Yep, that's it.
Alrighty then. Brain, you don't have any back issues or your current reading you want to show off?
I have nothing.
Oh, that's depressing.
Sparking person out?
He does have the sparkling personality. He has the good looks. He still has his hair color and everything. He's still got some good stuff.
Okay, I still have my hair.
Yeah, he still got that, All right. I'm going to start showing off back issues. What do you want to see? The stuff I got from Brain? Or do you want to see the stuff that I picked up first? What do you think?
Whatever you want to show.
All right. Let's go.
It is your show, so you get to do whatever you want.
Really? Oh, that means I don't have to wear pants.
You wear pants?
I invest in them, but I don't wear them unless I'm going out in public. All right. American Century, number 21, finally came in. So this guy was living every guy's dream. Every city he went to, he met a new girl. But he also got problems because dames are problems, Sammy. Number 22. These are just fantastic covers. I don't know who's doing the. Is this? I'm not sure who the cover art is on this. Orbic? I'm not sure who that is. Orbick.
I'm not familiar with that artist either.
Yeah. Orbick. From Vertigo Days. Issue 23. So look at this. That is a cool cover. That looks like it could be on a Gold Key book or 4-cover fossils. I love these painted covers. This is Howard Shaken, I believe, for number 24.
Yeah, definitely shaking.
Yeah. All right. Getting into some more cheesecake with Chaos on the Edge. Purgatory, number 1. So these are always fun to do. Get these when I get the Purgatory versus Chastity books. Because I have the Chastity books. It's a crossover ones I don't have. So go school with this. I was looking up on these, the Vampire Legendary Tales. These are actually from the Warren magazines. Reprints. So it's kind of, they're in black and white, but they're stories, yeah. They reprinted. They only released 2 these. And I think you have variant covers. That's why it threw me off. It's that some of these. But pretty well. And then these at first I wasn't sure if they were actually the correct issues. I think these are the 2013. Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale have a story here, the backup, which is really cool. There's issue 1, and then we got issue 2 with the Jusko cover. I love that Joe Jusko cover. Jusko, or Josko, whatever you want to pronounce it. Really cool. And then here is issue number 3. So, alrighty then. Avengers 172.
Nice.
Yeah, is Holocaust in New York Harbor. Yeah. So I don't know. Some of these might be mixed in with I got from the auction too, I think. Red Sonja. Number 1. Not the first appearance, but the first issue of her little series. Yeah, volume 1. Or it might be the miniseries. All right. Filling in the Miss Marvel collection. Number 12. Yep. Number 13. I only wear pants when he goes outside for food. Maybe I just had the food delivered to me. $20.
And then are you wearing pants when you have the food delivered to you, though, when you answer the door?
I don't know. Maybe I am. Maybe I am. Every driver gets a new surprise. All right. Number 17. Batman Adventures. Mr. Puckett. Yeah, I always forget that they used to have Fox Kids back in the 90s had cartoons in the afternoon. Because I remember like everything was Saturday, and I remember weekdays they were doing them like in the afternoon at 4:00.
Yeah, there's the Fox Kids Club. We had the Fox 4 Kids Club up here. I know both the Fox and Kitty Fox. They had them up here. I've known the Kid Fox, the Fox guy for
Dan Slott, Batman Adventures, which we did read this issue, I believe. This is the 2003 version. So it might be actually on the channel in one of the Batman Superman Adventures.
Isn't Slott another Wade type of guy?
Well, Wade can write. Slott can't. Well, not anymore. He used to be able to write. TDS broke him. Number 49. The Batman Gotham Adventures with Killer Croc. With
what is Croc's last name? It's Waylon something.
Waylon Jones.
I was thinking Waylon Jennings, but I'm like, that's a different person.
Maybe. And then Just Like Adventures, number 23. I'll be getting more of these. I did buy the whole collection from E. O'Brien. I love comics. And it's Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. Affordable auctions he does. So, yeah. I love the DCAU. Just comic book form and everything. I love it. It's just been fun. Then there's 28. Legion of Superheroes. Then there's a really messed up issue, 29, where they're merged. All right. Then this, I forgot about this. I even bought this from him. Fantastic issue. Yeah. Number 72. And then last but not leastly, from the stuff I got from over at I Love Comics, or just you just sent me. No Easy Lessons in Love. First appearance of Mary Robbins.
Who's Mary Robbins?
The girl on the cover.
Why do we care about Mary Robbins?
Why are you so heartless? Like, you're like, fuck Mary Robbins. I don't care about her.
She's Gwen Stacy or anything.
Gwen Stacy's dead. We don't care about her. Unless you like the, yeah.
And I agree with Maranya on that Elseworld Nights thing. That really was horrible.
Yeah. All right. Stuff I picked up today at the shop. So, getting more into the Now Comics Green Hornets. I've been collecting them before I actually sit down and read them. So, I'm hoping they'll be good. I got some more Vigilantes. I got issue 29. And then, for the New York Gazette, not the Daily Bugle, because no one cares about that. Issue 30. It's a gang war. All right. Going through anything I could find with Wolverine and Gambit. I got issue of Wolverine Gambit Victims, which I believe is the first issue. So I always look for anything like this. But and then these are really cool. I got these for $1. I had to look these up to see exactly what they were, but back in July of 2000, came out with these.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, these were all. I believe these were these aren't. These aren't. I didn't say who it is on the writer, but Dick Giordano's on the book too. So that was one of the books covers. And I thought they're actually separate issues. They're actually separate stories. I thought it was just variant covers because we're so used to variants every time we see stuff like this. Because Zach, they also had this. So
I think I've seen that one somewhere.
and of course, I couldn't pass up this one too. Doom Patrol.
Nice.
Here it comes, bro. Some Dial H3 Hero. And then we got Wonder Chick and Twinkle Toes. Teen Titans. Aqualadio. Robin. Breen, have you seen these before? Or is this new to you? Because
No, I've got those. I've got that series.
Barry? Okay. Yeah, I just saw this in the dollar box. I was like, I might as well pick these up for $1. Why not?
Hey, I found out where that minute that Kang was talking about was right there in that issue because it's a borrowed time on the bottom. So that's probably where that extra minute went to.
All right. And then I couldn't find the first two of the series, but I got Batman Superman, World's Finest, Carl Kessel. Remember, these are all for $1. That's issue 3. Issue 4. Then here's issue 5. Yeah. Then it jumps to issue 7 because I don't have 6 either. So looking forward to this. I didn't know Carl Castle did a World's Finest. So all right, then we have issue 8. It looks like the artist changes for each issue. Pure Dory's on this one for issue 8. Issue 9 has Graham Nolan on here. So some cool stuff. So and Sal Buscema too. Unique's in there. All right, and then I saw this too. For like I said, I figured $1. I'm like, don't put me there because I always find a lot of cool dollar books.
Reminds me, I need to go to the comic shop near me that has the good dollar.
You don't, Zach. You'll have like no money for new books, and you'll walk with a long box full of books, dollar books, instead of walking out with 5 books or new books. So. The Legacy of Superman. Look at that creative team in there. That's cool.
Janky, Jurgens, Kessel.
Yeah, that's let me
Blur, Messner Lobes, Simonson, Stern, Ordway,
Parks.
That's all. I don't know.
Rodier, Rubenstein, Walt Simonson.
Yeah, I don't
Stern
know.
and Chris Wan.
I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, never came across this, but it's basically the Wave Rider is on your appearance of this, and they basically go through and they show you different legacies of Superman about time. All right, and then I saw this. Number 1. It says Hughes on there. Is that Adam Hughes writing? Or different Hughes?
No, there's an E. It could be Adam Hughes.
But it's Bay Romero is doing the art here too as well. And then I had issue 2. So they did not have issue 3.
Let me see.
And then
that's Adam Hughes, right?
Yeah. Wow. Cool.
Interesting.
And then anytime I see this issue, I have to pick it up. Truth, Justice, and the American Way. All right. And then, Breen, you're going to like this one. Who is the mystery foe who vows to destroy every living member of Superman's race? Fury of the Kryptonian Killer. Nope. I guess Breen left.
Brainiac Spark Gas.
Breen. Paging, Mr. Breen.
Probably stepped away to get some Trader Joe's popcorn.
He must have. He's like, I'm going to go use the bathroom. Back gonna be talking for an hour. But, yeah, I came across this at a shop. I've seen other ones. I've seen the Super Babies. They're fighting over putting who gets to put the star on top of the tree. I've seen that one. But this is cool because it's got crypto on it. I was like, cool. And not only that, is they're getting rid of all the freaking Kryptonians other than just Superman. It's like now that Superman is overcome, I've captured every last survivor of Krypton. Let's get in. I love the Go-Go checks. It's just so cool. So whenever Breen comes back, I'll show it again. The last thing I got is a gift from Dominic. So I haven't spoke to him in a while, but thank you, Dominic, if you're watching this on the replay.
I haven't seen Dominic in a while.
Yeah. All right.
What is it?
I don't know. It feels like comic books. I'm opening it off screen in case it's porn.
Best
I
type
really
of
hope
gift.
it's not.
I mean, I don't know what Dominic's into, but I hope he is like, it's like, I gotta make sure it's safe.
Oh, and you showing some of your stuff reminded me there was one other thing that I got that I didn't show, so I went back and got it.
Okay, cool.
So, and it's something that Brain would really like. Well, I guess we can wait for him to show up.
Oh, it's a good thing I got this late because now I have doubles. That's really cool. So Dominic decided to get me Wolverine and Punisher, which I just picked up in my shop about 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
Now I have the complete set twice. It's a thought that matters out. So it looks like there's 3 books in there. Make sure there's not a 4th one in there, hidden in there. But thank you to Dominic. I haven't gotten my gift from Dom yet. Hope he emailed it to my new address and not the old one. Give him a new one, but Maranya, you didn't get beef jerky like you're supposed to. I doubt you're getting your books.
At least you're getting one. I don't even know who this Dom and E guys are, so I seriously doubt they'll be sending me.
You know, he owed me a 10-second car because I beat him in a race. Dom, but yeah. So it's all 3 issues.
Was it did you race him in Grease Lightning?
No, dude. Do you know who Dominic Toretto is?
No. I was okay, now Dominic Toretto, okay, I know who that is, but I was also going a little bit farther back with Grease Lightning.
When I say 10-second car, that's not Grease Lightning. Grease Lightning would basically lose the race. Would be smoked out. So cool. So thank you, Dom, for sending me these. Thank you, E, for sending these.
You already have those, don't you?
Yeah, I just showed them off to a couple weeks ago. No. And welcome back. So this is from Dominic. But Brain, since you when did you leave off? I know you left.
I just went to grab my ibuprofen.
Okay. What's the last book you saw?
I was probably gone for about 2 minutes.
I ended it with this.
Ooh, I did not see that.
Yeah. So
no, don't get excited, Zach. I said not see.
Wow.
Ooh, and the one and Brain for the win tonight.
Now Zach, I pick my spots now.
you aim and then fire instead of fire and then aim.
This is the other one I got too.
I don't even know what aim means.
I just love this issue. I love the cover and everything. I don't care if I have another one of these. It's the same one that's actually on the omnibus, which is hilarious.
Is that from the Triangle area?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Pretty sure it is. I don't see a triangle on it though. That's what threw me. Oh, it is. Again, it's number 7. Yeah. So remember, it's Truth, Justice, and Better Tomorrow. Guess what? Don't put up they put up the omnibus saying American Way as a cover. That's hilarious. The other ones I was you saw the Legacy, right? Breen? Did you see this one?
Yeah, I did. I did see that.
All right, cool. There was that. Did you see the Gwen 13? Or Gen 13?
No.
Adam Hughes writing. Blue Romero doing the art interior.
Was Adam Hughes the writer on that?
Yeah.
Is that supposed to be Fairchild?
Well, she thinks she's Supergirl in the story.
Yes, yeah. So I got the first 2 of that. Could not find the 3rd. Same with said so I need to collect more of the Carl Kessel World's Finest.
Zach, I don't know if you were here when I was talking about it a couple weeks ago. That Gen 13 series, the original one,
really
started with J. Scott Campbell as the regular artist. Gary Frank was the regular artist on it for a while.
Nice.
And so was Ed Bennis.
Oh,
yep.
I really liked that series.
Cheesecake Row.
Well, and actually, it's good. When Scott Lobdell took over the writing, kind of turned it into a satire on pop culture, and it was really good.
So you say Lobdell, I say Lobdell. Because I never heard. I don't hear.
Never heard it pronounced.
That's
I
here.
think it's Lobdell because Loeb would be Lobedel.
Not necessarily. I submit to you,
Really?
Shashevsky.
Well, that's the other thing too. A lot of the words when we're reading, the ones I have flub on,
make that work phonetically.
When we do the readings, there's a lot of words I've never heard anybody use before, so I've never heard them pronounced. So I always flub them.
And also, people just horribly mispronounce stuff. I mean, people always mispronounce my last name horribly.
What? Asshole?
Yeah. Yes. Amazingly enough, you wouldn't believe how many times.
I thought your name was just Jeffrey.
Jeff. Those are British people. They say it differently.
They say arse.
Well, see, I've got a German last name, so it's just like Jesus. You know.
See,
you'd think
Ratchenberger?
If I wasn't picking my spots, I'd say, "Hey Zach, could you pronounce it for us?"
Sure.
Oh, hey. I'll give you. Let me show you that one other.
Okay, hold on a second.
Ah!
Oh.
My eyes. I'm just kidding.
There's one other thing that I got.
My eyes have seen the gory. Oh, sorry.
So I realized had forgotten that I'd gotten this, and this was, I loved getting these things. I thought I'd wait for you to come back, Brandon, because I thought you might like it.
The new version of Creepy.
Yeah, it's waiting for me at the shop.
Yes, it's.
Alrighty then.
I like the style of the first
Story
one.
time with Jeff. You can read it to Breen.
No, I'm just saying that that I like the the style that they have.
Well, that's with more the same thing. I love the art that's in there. It's miles better than anything that's in some of the current books. I don't know what it is, but it just these writers are probably getting better paid. Maybe that's why they hire them.
I don't know about that, but
well, how often do you see some of the art that's in the Warren magazines that's shitty compared to what's in the Marvel DC or even some of the indie books? That's why I like it. So, I mean, that opening menu thing he had there, they showed the guy on the horse, or whatever. Like that's really good art. Same with Savage Sword of Conan.
Well, I think some of these people are on these books because they have a passion for horror comics, and the big two outside of zombie apocalypse stories have abandoned horror mostly. Because I don't count the
Marvel Zombies
big event. No, the big event from this past year, Marvel. Yes, it was about vampires, but it wasn't about
really a horror story.
Right, and it was. Yeah, I said there's nobody. No vampires were out biting people or doing traditional vampire things.
There was no ghosts possessing people. There was no but the faces melting off and seeing the skull.
Miles Morales was bit by a vampire.
Well, yeah, but that's.
Was it a vampire?
I get your point.
So that's the only one though, right?
That's also stupid. He got bit by a spider to give him spider powers. So if you got bit by a vampire, would it negate his spider powers?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think it works like that.
But also, I mean, some of the other stories in this one aren't as good. But I think the art in here aren't as good. But I think a lot of the people that do, I mean, we can't go with the stuff from 50s and 60s like EC and all that. But some of the people who do the more independent stuff care more or are a little bit more talented than the people they have on Big Two.
Nice. Go on, Maranya. Can't argue. There's no lies detected.
There you go.
So Jay, if you're still out there, Shohei Ohtani's interpreter got sentenced to almost 5 years today. Now we know anybody with two brain cells to rub together knows damn well that Ohtani was the gambler and that guy's taking the fall. What kind of payoff do you think that guy gets at the end of that sentence?
Percentage of it?
I don't know.
Well, no way.
Is the interpreter Japanese? I mean, from Japan, Japanese?
Yeah.
Okay, it's an honor thing. I mean, that's Japanese people.
Well, I know he's taking the bullet for Shohei because the world needs Shohei to be. The world doesn't need that interpreter. But I'm not giving up years of my life unless there's a pot of gold at the end of that. Well, what's the opposite of rainbow?
Thunderstorm.
Uh,
Thunderstorm, rainbows. Is that the same thing? The new Thor.
Rainbows come after thunderstorms.
Yeah.
So it's like current Marvel. Don't they have their Stormbreakers?
Yes, they're having a bunch of covers.
There
With
actually
rainbows?
is something called an anti-rainbow.
It's
Yeah, it's called being straight.
manga.
If light waves of different colors are perfectly out of phase, they cancel each other out, resulting in no visible spectrum. This would be an invisible rainbow, which is
Oh,
extremely
so
rare.
there you're saying it's a rainbow that's in the closet.
Well, Marania is sort of on the is it Marania or Marania? I'm sorry, I don't know.
Marania.
Marania. She
Pronounce
was
it
really on the
Marania
ball-
and see how long you live. That's
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
I've never
That's what I'm-
heard Marania.
But she's
Sounds
on the
like
ball
Miranda
tonight.
rights.
She is on the ball tonight. Check out the last one. I think that's pretty accurate.
It's time for some new material, y'all. It's been
She also-
JD
you know,
Vance
she-
for a month now.
She also goes by Moran.
Moron.
Make sure you put the A's in there. And
See how well you last with that one. I feel like Moran is gonna get shorten your life cycle a lot more than Marania.
Yeah, but if you say Moran, that would be okay. But if you make them O's, they're
What about
Screwed.
Moran?
that's her Duran
British?
Duran cover band name.
Yeah.
Just go with Marianne.
The best of the castaways.
Ginger, thank you.
No. You can keep her.
Well, not like because I like Marianne. I just want to know what her game is and
Marianne
if
was
play.
better than Ginger in every conceivable way.
I'm quoting a
Dawn
song.
Except for the
Well,
redhead.
never
Except for
mind.
the red hair. Thank you.
No, sorry. I'll
I've-
take the farm girl over the Hollywood
I've
star.
got
any day.
I've got a thing for redheads, man. That's
I'm
just
not
what it is.
denying redheads are cute, but I'm looking at the whole package, not just the hair.
anybody see that? Fengman, were you the one who posted that picture of Julie Newmar and Tina Louise?
So
I think
Zach,
Spider-Man
do
made
you
it.
like
60s or
packages? Is
something.
that-
It's hard to tell because Jay posts the same thing I do,
Yeah,
so you
y'all
see it
need to-
twice.
Y'all need to coordinate better. It's like you're both.
Well,
it's like
today-
one's Michael Jordan. And
I
one's
love it.
LeBron
I love it
James.
because it doesn't make either Jay posts something and then 8 hours later I post the same thing, or like today I posted something, not even half an hour later, Evil Black Cat posts it. Like people just like instead of looking, because here's what it is. A lot of us are guilty of not looking to see what's in sports ball. We're just going through our feed and we just hit send the sports ball. Then you're like, oh crap, this is already shared. But it's okay though, because by the time anybody sees what we originally posted, it's been 1,300 posts. So, would be interesting though if they implemented the social media. Say,
I'll be right back.
If you shared something in a group, it recognizes it's already been shared and will not let you share it. Like it actually like takes you to where it is, and they say this has already been. Just like if you have duplicates files on your computer, that'd be kind of cool.
Mhm.
But marijuana, you never thought of that? Well, it's I don't think of it, unless it's.
No, I think they were. I think they were talking about it in reference to.
They're the names I know. What's up, Henry?
But it's kind of funny. People were giving Stanley a hard time about naming Mary Jane, and about what it's in reference to, and he's like, I didn't know that. I never even knew that. And so when he gave her that name, he says he has no idea that he knew the connection between the two names.
The hive mind, yes, Jay. Looks like he decided to hang out with the wife. So there is nothing really scheduled over there yet that I've seen. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do. I mean, it all depends. What Brian, are you up for a late night stream over on I Love Comics, or do you just want to just take the night off and just chill?
He had to step away, so he's not here.
Again.
I am not going to be late night streaming tonight. I have some friends waiting on me to go play some video games with. So
Really, what game?
Marvel
Rivals.
has consumed almost all of my video game time.
What is that word that you use? Not video games, but that other one that starts with an F. What was that?
Consumed?
Friends.
Oh.
Friends.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
actually am fairly popular in
What
the
does that-
Flesh and Blood.
What does that mean?
It means that
It
I
means
have
that he's not a
people.
loner.
It means
He's
he
not-
doesn't hate people like I do.
He's not part of the wolf pack. He's a lone cub.
Only certain people. No, I'm just kidding. No. I have a friend. He put together a group that plays Marvel Rivals most nights of the week, and I don't have work tomorrow morning, so I'm gonna go stay up late and act like I'm 14 again, and play video games with them. So
You know, that's what Sheila does. With Shirley, Shirley. My
do
friend.
know Shirley.
Yes, I'm serious, and don't call me that, by the way.
No.
Ah,
She's actually did the Wonder Woman reading with us on this channel. She's also been over. She's also with some of the DC cover rankings. She's a big, huge Wonder Woman fan. But the other thing is, other than being Wonder Woman fan, can you guess what her favorite video game is to play?
Warhammer.
You were playing it for a long time.
Oh, was it Overwatch
No.
or Apex Legends?
No.
Marvel Snap.
It's the one I really hate.
What video game was I playing that you really hate?
Begins with an F.
It begins with an F. Final Fantasy?
Really?
Fortnite?
Thank you.
Oh, Fortnite. Oh,
See, I don't play
haven't
any
played
of those.
Dude,
So
I
just,
need to get back into Fortnite now.
Dude.
They have where you can be Godzilla now. in
So
Fortnite. It's
she
amazing.
always has Fortnite Fridays.
Nice.
She's
I
like, you gotta play it with me. They got a Gambit skin. I'm like, don't tempt me, woman.
They do. And I almost bought it. I
She
should buy the Gambit skin.
she has the Rogue thing.
The Gambit
Skin.
skin's cool.
She loves Rogue. Her two favorite characters is Rogue and Wonder Woman.
Rhaegar, I am on PlayStation and I am currently Gold 2. So trying not to dip below that. I want to stay in Gold. for the
What
rest of
rank
the
are you?
season.
Are you guys in a noob army?
Gold is so it's bronze, silver, gold,
Yeah.
and then I think it goes to platinum, diamond, grandmaster. I think.
some of us actually have had a real rank. Sorry, I
Good
just
for you.
don't like saying that. Yeah. What was the
I
appropriate
didn't
response?
hear
Thank
it
you.
is, but I just kind of like tuned it out. But I know it's bad.
It was the appropriate. The Zach
I
had the
just saw
appropriate
Zach's
response.
response, and I'm like, I'm glad I kind of just zoomed out a little bit.
It
Yeah.
was the appropriate response.
I have those every now and then, but yeah, I'm gonna see myself out the door though. If y'all do have a late night stream, maybe I'll pop in the chat. You know, rip
I don't
y'all
know.
a little bit.
Maybe I'll do one over there. I don't know what's going on. I said,
because he's
I
not
don't-
streaming tonight.
yeah. Well, we originally told him he should do it tonight. Do cover
Is
ranking or
he
whatever.
still having stomach issues with the onions?
No. That was only Monday and Tuesday. Like
Oh,
I said,
okay.
he ate garlic, and he knows he's not supposed to have it. So it's like,
Can't
not getting
imagine.
sympathy
if I ever
from
get
me.
to that point, somebody just pull the plug on me. Like life without garlic is just like life without air.
well, you wouldn't have life if you're allergic to garlic
Yeah,
and you ate it. You'd be like,
I'd rather eat garlic and die. I'm sorry.
you'd be
I will
throwing and
die
going, as
happy.
Dr. Silverage says. Check out, yes, you guys haven't done so. Check out Dr. Silverage on Saturday mornings, and I believe it's 10 Eastern on Dr. Silverage. Just one word, Dr. Silverage. Check out Graphic Man. Check out, if you actually go to the homepage, there's quite a few different channels I've added on there too. One of my friends is Imperial Goddess, who's streaming right now over on Twitch, but also to YouTube. You can check our channel. So go
Playing that
sub
new
over there.
Indiana Jones game.
She's playing the
That's
new
a
Indiana
really
Jones
good
game, which is
That's a
fun.
really good
And
game.
I love it because she gets so easily flustered about the puzzles. She's like, I can't do this stupid thing.
that
like,
game, the story's really
Um,
good. I've been watching my brother play it.
her-
It's a
her-
better movie than the past two movies.
for those who like people watching people play the games, interacting with you, check out her, and also check out Aries, which is her fiance. He's also been playing some games. He also plays a little bit more than just Indiana Jones. He's been playing some other games, played some Sniper Elite and a few other games, new indie games. So check him out, support him. He's been playing around on Twitch for forever, but he's had a Twitch, he had a YouTube account. I love this. He's had it since like probably 2015, but he never used it. He's like, oh, I should have been streaming this whole entire time. So yeah, go sub him up, check him out, go support him. And the great thing about if you watch people play the games on the YouTube versus Twitch, there's no ads. Twitch, you have to subscribe just to watch them, so you don't get any ads. You know, so but
Speaking
YouTube's
of
been fun.
watching, I just found out that the new 3 more episodes of Invincible got dropped today. Or I
Mhm.
noticed it today. I
yeah,
don't know if it was
Invincible
today
season
that they
3
dropped.
is out there. Yeah.
You ever try the Spider-Man games? The PS4 ones, the new Marvel Spider-Man games with Miles Morales and Peter Parker.
I just beat it. I finally beat Spider-Man 2 a couple weeks ago. Finally.
I'll just say this. I think it's in 2017 is when they came out with the first one.
The first one, yeah.
Yeah. They fixed the current the issues they had with the web swinging. They fixed it. It works wonderful. The overall, I love the story.
It work. I remember the web swinging was always good.
Well, not in the Tobey Maguire games.
Oh no! Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The
So I'm saying
Spider-Man's it was always good.
Yes, they fixed it. Some people didn't like the whole Mary Jane stuff, but I thought it was decent. I like the fact that they actually had them, like I said, being a couple again. They worked. I'll explain more than that. I'll just say that how they introduced Miles Morales into the first game is great. That's what they should have done in the comic books. They even joke about the fact, hey, we can't call you Spider-Man anymore because I'm Spider-Man. They make fun of it. They make fun of the I love it. They make fun of the stupid writing from the Whisper Network over currently at Marvel right now. That's what I like about the game. Miles Morales, gets his own game which was kind of like in between. And then they did Spider-Man 2. They brought that back. Just a wonderful reimagining of the actual characters, and not in the sense where it's like, oh, they really just change it up and it's crap. They're fun. Overall, you'll enjoy them. There's side quests which are optional. You can do if you want to. Miles Morales, there is some forced politics in there, Black Lives Matter and stuff they put in there, which a lot of people weren't happy with. But overall, the villains were great. The suits, you get to collect suits just like the original games. Like I said, it was fun. It's probably one of the best RPG, or I guess what you call those? Is that considered an RPG?
Action RPG.
Yeah.
I could say that.
Good Lord, I'll leave for a minute. You nerds are talking about.
Well, you know what? I tried talking to you, but you left.
Well, my sister called. I had to tell her about Phil.
Oh.
So,
and speaking of Spider-Man, I heard there's a wonderful new Spider-Man cartoon out that everyone wants to watch.
Yeah.
Do I consider
Jeff? How old are you?
Me?
Yeah.
I will in 2 weeks. I will be 56.
What the fuck do you care about a Spider-Man cartoon? Not being for you.
I don't know.
I agree with Richard Meyer about once a month now, but he's got a good point about stuff like that. Yeah. When guys our age are bitching about freaking kids' cartoons and Disney princesses.
Yeah.
I couldn't care less. I was just trying to get a rise out of people.
So,
on that note, I'm going to head out.
All right.
Y'all have a good night, guys. See y'all later.
Right. See you, other Zach.
Bye.
All right. Henry wasn't Thursday and cleans the night off. Yeah, but sometimes he decides to do things. All depends because Gail, they switched because the Thursdays he started doing some stuff originally, but then because now that Gail has off Thursday and Fridays, his priorities changed. But there was talk we might do something tonight, but it doesn't seem like that might be the case. And do I consider Miles Morales Spider-Man? Only in one exception. In the original Ultimate Spider-Man, because they decided to basically bump Peter Parker off, which some fans weren't really happy with that. But it made more sense because it gave the other character a chance to grow. But when they brought him over to the main universe, should have changed the name.
Well,
have him be in his own separate universe still.
The only problem, here's my issue with him being called Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's the same reason why they insist on calling Sam Wilson Captain America. It's political. It's a gotcha for the perceived, chuds that they could care less that Sam Wilson is black. Yeah. It's just that Steve Rogers is Captain America. Yeah. Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
But I feel
not
like
everything's a mantle.
But I feel like Miles was different though.
Well, no, he really wasn't. Because they should have had a good name for him from the beginning. Or at least one at the ready for when they were ready to move him into the other universe. Because like I said, he's not he didn't replace Peter Parker. Like Wally West replaced Barry Allen.
Mm-hmm.
So he
in
was,
Ultimate Universe, though, they basically had him replacing Peter Parker.
right,
So,
but he came to the other universe.
Yeah, that's the problem. As I said,
And,
in his original universe, he was fine.
Yeah, you can. I will accept that. Not that anybody gives two craps about what again, but there should there
change his
should have
name.
been a cool name. Somebody suggested something like Arachnid, but
that's what I had said. That was they also made fun of that in the Spider-Man cartoon Disney XD. Miles turned it down, but he says because they argued about how he's like, dude, I'm Spider-Man. You're not going to be Spider-Man. So, but yeah, they should have changed his name. Kid Arachnid. Obviously can't call him Black Spider because that would be, oh no, can't do that. But also because it's also taken in DC. I think.
Yeah. I said it to me it does a disservice to both characters. And by I mean like Sam Wilson and Miles Morales.
Mm-hmm.
Because I said it kind of one of the arguments is so the only way we can give gravitas to a black character is to give him a white man's title.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't like him being in the main universe. They shut down the okay. You don't do the Ultimate Universe score? Cool, he destroyed it. Guess what? You can still have him in his own pocket universe. Just like they did with Spider-Girl. Spider-Girl was set in a future that was not connected to anything. Really, it was very loosely connected to the main universe. They decided to basically just go with that. It was a standalone thing, and just should have left it like something like that. Should have had Miles in his own thing, not connect. And should have had new heroes, new villains.
And I would say, okay, Henry, that's a fair point, but Spider-Man 2099 doesn't exist in the same time frame as the other.
Yeah,
because if he's in the future.
Mm-hmm.
As far into Rhaegar's point, if someone else shows up as Black Panther, it's not T'Challa. It's not really Black Panther. It's a Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
And that's I said, and again that negates that person's own identity. It's like
I was thinking like, what would you call him? Because obviously don't call him Spider-Man. Kid Arachnid would have been fine with me if he'd been a sidekick to Peter Parker.
And you guys that what is his name? Iron Man. What is his name? The War Machine. What's his?
Yeah.
The characters, Rhodey. Rhodey's a fine point. He became Iron Man when Tony Stark couldn't do it. And then when Tony Stark took the mantle of Iron Man back, Rhodey became somebody else.
Yeah.
It wasn't, Iron Man 2.
And they are too afraid to do that now these days because they're afraid they're going to get canceled. It's all,
Yeah. And they made him his own individual person, which was
here's the thing.
Rivals are just as good as Iron Man.
Here's the thing, though. They're not afraid to do it. They think it's offensive to do it.
And one slick, you're absolutely right. They did that for cinematic purposes in case Sony wouldn't relinquish the rights to Spider-Man. So they were going to basically create their own for movie purposes. But it's unfortunately the way it's worked out.
Mm-hmm.
That I know Miles is still popular with younger kids, but I don't know how many of them are reading comics.
That's the thing. My niece, she was in it for a hot minute in the comic books, and then she stopped. She dipped out.
And now he's known. He's not even known as Spider-Man. He's known as Miles Morales.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not. So it didn't work in that regard either.
No, because they knew that no one was going to call him Spider-Man. And like I said, if you want to have him be around, don't call him Spider-Man. If you want to call him, even call him Spider-Man. Have it be in a different universe with no Peter Parker. I'm okay with that. I don't want to be in. I don't want two Spider-Man in the same freaking universe.
Well, unfortunately,
with the same freaking name too.
Comics has become nothing but mantles and extended families.
It's all birthday clowns.
And I mean, speaking of Spider-Man, look at all the different spiders they have here.
So Ben Reilly was known as Scarlet Spider.
No, I mean, I'm just talking.
No. I'm going off the comments in the.
Okay.
Since Ben Reilly has a different name now, no one's using Scarlet Spider. That'd be perfect for Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, he's on. Was he known as Chisholm or something like that? Or
Well, you heard what they did. Why they did that?
the big people because they hate Ben Riley.
Well, no, they didn't want him taking attention away from Miles Morales and Ghost Spider or Gwen, whatever Gwen's name is. So they threw Ben under the bus,
which is horrible.
But I said, Marvel's a horrible company.
They are. The original Spider-Verse was actually done better in the cartoon than it was in the comic book series. The 1994 cartoon series did a short-lived two-episode crossover event that ended the series, and there was no Miles Morales. There was a Ben Riley though, which did pop up in there. That was hilarious. That was kind of cool. There was even a Spider-Man who had the Doc Ock tentacles, but it was done well with respect to the characters. These nowadays, anything there's a spider, they had like the third one was Dan Slott, did Spider-Verse. The Edge of Spider-Verse introduced Gwen Stacy, Spider Girl, whatever. They're just cash grabs. They're just basically they're throwing names out wherever they can so they get royalties. That's all it is. There's nothing to them whatsoever. I can't tell me there's actually a compelling story in any of these.
And by the way, in the real world, you see what Daniel Penny just did?
Did he praise God?
He got a job at a prestigious venture capital firm, whatever.
Good for him.
Yep.
Yeah. Like I said, I liked I read through the original. I guess the original was there's two. When Ben became Spider-Man for a while, that was the second Clone Saga, right?
Yes.
Okay, I always get confused. I always put him as one. Or that.
No, the first one he supposedly was killed at the end of it.
Yeah, throws the clone. Yeah,
in the explosion, he killed Miles Warren.
So the second one, I read through it. It is confusing a little bit, but for the most part, from what I understood of it, is that I did like the whole Ben Riley, and Peter Parker, kind of becoming brothers a little bit.
That storyline, it's become chic and acceptable to shit on.
Yeah.
Now, granted, they lost control of it. I mean, it just got, but everything happened like that in the 90s. Everything was.
So to me, it was what happened. It just seems like it just got intercompany politics. Check it out on it, and this whoever, because remember they originally were going to have MJ and Peter have a daughter, and then they said, you know what, we can't do that, and they scrapped that.
Yeah.
And Spider-Girl or the Spider-Verse, where they're doing as far as the Clone Saga, that was going off well, and then they scrapped it. I guess I'll correct the fans because they were going to reveal that Peter Parker, the Ben Riley, was actually Peter Parker the whole time.
Yeah, that's okay. People forget that they didn't want to do that. They did that.
Yeah.
But the fan outrage worked in the 90s. They put it back.
Yeah.
If the people that were in charge now or had been in charge then, they were just told the fans fuck off. Kind of like they've been doing with Peter and MJ for almost 20 years now.
Yes. But can you imagine how different the Spider-Man comics would have been if they would have kept the child?
Well, we did find out because we got a great series out of it.
No, yeah, but I mean, if that would have been canon, though, they would have kept that going.
But I mean, it doesn't matter now because Marvel's finished. But
so here's my argument.
She's out there somewhere.
We know it would have worked. Why? Because if you have a writer like Jonathan Hickman, you can write the marriage being with two kids. I think it would have worked. Of course, back then, I think Ultimate Spider-Man today, if it had been written in the 90s, I don't know if it would have been as hot as it is now compared to that back then. Because I feel like a lot of people were just kind of like, I guess, I don't know, more outspoken, and just basically as far as what they purchased. I think that, like, for Marvel, wasn't 90s like the death sentence for them because there wasn't that many good books?
Well,
part of it. But
but they got in trouble financially. That's why they licensed some of their characters to Image.
Yeah.
But to be
the
fair,
crossover, but people weren't liking that either.
The Avengers, had
Well,
what was not good anymore.
Hero's Return. How was that?
Hero's Return
With Kurt Busiek?
was very good because what they did, what the lesson they learned, it was almost like they had a philosophical shift. They gave the books back to writers, and they took Mark Waid off of Captain America and had Rob Liefeld write it. I'd much rather have a beer with Rob Liefeld, but writing ability, there's no comparison.
Yeah.
And when they got back, when the heroes returned, they put Waid back on the book.
I liked what they did with the Hulk in the Pocket Monsters. I liked that.
I did not at all, but that's neither here nor there. But they'd already fucked up Peter David's Hulk by then anyway.
Yeah.
But they put they Busiek write Iron Man in Avengers. They put Claremont on the Fantastic Four, Mark Waid on Cap, and Dan Jurgens on Thor.
Was Mark Waid? This is before his DC run on Flash, or after?
I think before, but I think there was a time when he was working at both companies. But
okay, that's crazy when you have like
you can't do that anymore. I mean, really.
Yeah, I don't know if you can or not officially, but
I mean, Dan Slott does it. He has Christopher Gage do his ghost working for him.
Yeah, but yeah, the Marvel output. This would have been late 96, early 97.
I think part of it also had to do with them trying to change their characters to become what they thought they would be like. The image stuff,
Real quickly, Henry, we're talking about Mayday Parker, who Tom DeFalco wrote the series, I think.
Yeah, the first series it started as a what if story. And if you have that issue, congratulations, you're sitting on $100.
I know.
And then her first series lasted 100 issues. It got canceled several times, but fan outpouring got it through 100.
Hey, that I gotta say, I really love that time period for Spider-Man though. During that second Clone Saga, because the fact that May Parker passes away naturally.
Yep.
We have Mary Jane's. They're about to have a kid and stuff. It was such a great moment for Spider-Man fans, actually.
But and then she got another 30 issues on top of that.
Yeah.
Then a 4-issue miniseries, and then a backup feature after. Yeah, those are the only ones I haven't read. Were the last handful, but
yeah,
that character. Tom DeFalco created an entire universe that was just so much fun to read.
I feel like their number 2 books they're on a time period were probably the Peter David Supergirl, which might have been. I'm not. When did that start? Was that in late 90s?
96 or 7.
And then you had Spider-Girl, Tom DeFalco. Kind of, I think they might have overlapped a little bit. I'm not sure when one ended, one of them began, but it was like
they absolutely did.
Yeah.
I mean, completely different kinds of books, and I loved them both. I think you would like Supergirl if you got into that.
I read the first issue. I was going over it because I had a we're gonna have the girls read with us, obviously Amy and Melissa, and I was like, okay, let me read this and see how if it's something that they would be into reading, because I've kind of gotten a little bit a gauge as far as what Amy might not like and what she might like. And I was just like, there was a certain scene in there where the guy tries to force himself on her. I think it's in the first issue, second issue. So I wasn't sure if she'd be into that, or if that'd be okay. But I had to talk to her about it. But I would love to read that.
There's the period where she's wearing the white T-shirt and the tight skirt.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if they got that from the cartoon or the cartoon got that from the series.
Dude, the cartoon series, I love that. I love that costume where she had the she looked like Gwen Stacy pretty much.
Yeah.
She had the black headband, and then she had just wore that. It was so cool.
And the last story arc, they brought back Kara Zor-El, and in my opinion, that character was way better than Jeff Loeb's.
Yeah.
Like I said, I haven't really liked Supergirl for 20 years. I mean, the characters had her moments, but
yeah,
it's just the idea of her being equally capable and a Superman. Then why do we need a Superman? Because we all know girls are better than boys at everything now.
Yeah.
So the idea of her looking up to her cousin.
I was 8. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Henry, I was 18 in 2003. And the books I was reading that came out around that time, I think, was Thor. Was that Copiel on there? Was it Straczynski Thor? Can't remember if that was or not.
That was a little bit later on. That was like 2006.
But I started buying comics. I can't remember. It's a problem. I can't remember what my first book was because there was quite a few books coming out around 2003. But I was reading Danger Girl. I picked up a lot of Danger Girl stuff.
What made you decide to get into comics at 18? I mean, I started 13 and I was late.
So for me, I was like, I grew up with the cartoons. I didn't really know there was even comic books. Really, I just never really clicked into me. I was playing video games, man. I was doing other stuff because I didn't really have internet. So I didn't really go out. Anybody showed me, hey, these are the old Batman books, Flash book stuff, So it never really dawned on me. Obviously, now I think about now how stupid that is. Of course, it'd be comic books. Anything that's a TV show is usually based off a book or something. But I remember my sister got me the CD-ROMs this one year, and kind of that was my gateway drug. Not only that, to read comic books online, the digital stuff, because I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much easier than having to take it out of the box, take it out of the bag, hurt my neck for 30 minutes if I'm reading like a graphic novel or whatever. But I read 1 through 500, man. I was going to school, and then I had a part-time job, and then after my job in between school, I was reading I think I read about 12 to 15 issues of Spider-Man. I just got so enamored in this. I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. Even the Ditko series back in the day, those were once I got past the Ditko years and to Romita Senior, dude, I just never looked back, and I just kept reading that, And I remember, like, once Romita was off the book, like, oh my gosh, what is going on with this company?
Well, yeah, Gil Kane.
But I mean the writing and stuff like that, and then, like I said, like,
well, Stan Lee moved on.
Yeah. So then I noticed that there was a great shift in the quality of writing, and I was just like, not to say they were bad.
I don't think there was, honestly. I think that Roy Thomas did a handful, and then Jerry Conway. Now,
for me,
think about how much Conway was doing.
Yeah.
In his early 20s. It's just, but he wrote like an adult.
So not only did I have one on that, I had the essential book. I had access to the essential books, so I would stay up and I'd read those, the black and white ones. So that was my first thing, probably officially getting into was that. But as far as going purchasing, I remember I was collecting. 2007 was One More Day, right?
Yeah.
So 2003, I'm trying to think what was going on in comic books from Marvel in 2003, because I was collecting Spider-Man. I remember that. I got into so they had 1 through 500, something like 560 was on the CD-ROM. I started collecting whatever 561 was. I'm not sure what year that was. I have to look it up.
2008, because they were doing 3 a month.
Yeah. So I said I was 2003 Marvel. See if they had the list.
Hey, I've
Captain Marvel. Fantasy 4 was 65 to 70.
Hang on a second. Jeff, did you say something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't. It's a little after 7. I haven't eaten since about 7:30 this morning. I'm starving. I was waiting for a package that was supposed to show up that was
food.
I tried delivering it twice before, and
so
it hasn't shown up yet. I figured they're going to come, so I need to go get something to eat.
All right. Well, take care, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, and remember, next week I will be getting my leg surgery, so I won't be here next week.
That's okay. Yeah. Good luck.
Happy days are here. I mean, good luck with surgery.
Exactly. Anyway, so I'll let you guys know. I should be available the week after that if I can move around and stuff. But so I'll see you a couple of weeks, I'm assuming.
All right.
All righty. Take care,
yeah.
brother.
I just looked at the Ultimate series is what's going on. I was reading Ultimate Spider-Man. Remember that? I remember, and I was reading. Actually, I wasn't reading Ultimate Spider-Man. I poo-pooed it. I saw that, and I told my friend, it's like, why are you reading that bullshit with all the when it came out? Because remember they had all the smart. I said Peter Parker with a freaking smartphone. That is heresy. Get that crap out of my face. I tell him because I was at that point I was a Puritan as far as Spider-Man goes. I was like, I said, dude, because he was getting the comic books too. I was like, why are you reading that? Pick up go read the trades. They have trades here. They have essentials. They're like phone book side. I said, who cares in black and white? It was just you could read one after another. It was awesome how many books or issues they had in the essential books. I said I didn't care about black and white, but I remember it. I just was reading those. I'm looking at the top 50 books of 2003. Number one was Ultimate Spider-Man number 33. Then they had Amazing Spider-Man 500. So I was reading Amazing Spider-Man, man. They had Wolverine, Volume 3 was out. JLA Avengers, Ultimate War, Marvel 1602, Runaways, Fantasy 4 500 came out. Mystique number 1, Venom number 1, and then they had Ultimate Daredevil and Elektra. All the Ultimate books were out. Spectacular Spider-Man, that's another one that popped up. Supreme Power, Nyx, which I believe was the first appearance of Laura Kinney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Henry, I'm actually a Ross Andrew fan.
Yeah.
But John Romita Sr. To me, it's the quintessential Spider-Man artist. Yeah. And Gil Kane, obviously, as you know, is my all-time favorite artist.
Yep.
Plus, it was post-Gwen. It was kind of like a status quo shift for the character. And he just had the misfortune of being there. But then I realized at the time how much more blah was going to get in the late 70s, early 90s. I mean, it's still good comics, but like when they tried to give him a new supporting cast and things like that. I said, love him on Metal Men, Wonder Woman, the war stories that he did. I mean, and Ross Andrews was a hell of an artist. He's just not my favorite one or two Spider-Man artists.
I never hated Ross Andrew. I said I just liked around John Romita Sr. stuff. I love the fact that they actually still tried to imitate Senior on the art when they did their stuff. I said it wasn't until I'm trying to think when they started going away from the house style. I mean, because even Romita's son was still trying to copy his dad. I think it was probably the 2000s is when they started changing. Or actually, no, McFarlane.
You were talking about you said I even like the Ditko stuff. You know why I love the Ditko run on Spider-Man?
What is that?
Because it ended. And no,
because it's a new Spider-Man changing up,
But so those 38 issues plus the annual is like a time capsule of comic book history.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody that tells you that Ditko was a better artist than Romita has been brainwashed. I mean, there's no other way to put it.
Yeah.
God bless Jack Kirby, most creative person to ever pick up a pen or a brush. Not a great artist. Great storyteller, not a great artist. Yeah. Same thing with Steve Ditko. The romance book we did the other night.
Yeah.
That actually was very good art.
Yeah.
It's just that when he got older, he was working so much, doing so much, that I don't think he ever got to take the time to, I mean, he was probably able to do that in his 20s or into his 30s versus into his 50s and early 60s, which, I said, I'll read Jack Kirby books all day long because of how they flow, but he's not, he got to the point to where his people weren't even reasonable facsimiles anymore.
Happens sometimes. Except for me, for Ditko, I remember that's when him and fighting. I think that was during the Ditko era where Spider-Man or Peter Parker was fighting with the Betty Brant.
Oh, real quick, Henry, if he does, then we'll have to have 2 Romita nights.
Yeah.
Or as Iggy Pop says, if you like Romita coladas.
Yeah, that's the thing too, Henry. I hope he uses your picks and not uses his own picks, because I don't like when he says like, you know what, I don't like that cover. We're gonna put our own stuff in. No. If you say that's my thing. If he says that we're gonna use your stuff, Henry, send me the picks, then we go with your stuff. Not where like, you know what, Henry? Yeah, I know I said use yours, but your picks suck. I don't like when people do that crap. You know, just like. I don't like it when he removes Iron Man from a cover ranking because he didn't like the cover. But anyway, though, yeah, he brings up Eric Larson. I did not like Eric Larson. You know what? I gotta go back and read the Return of the Sinner 6. You know, that series.
Yeah.
I think it was spectacular.
I actually didn't mind Eric Larson on Spider-Man. He would never be my first choice.
No,
because he drew. I mean, because he was trying to do McFarlane.
Yeah, that's the problem. I don't.
Couldn't. I loved McFarlane on Amazing Spider-Man with a top-notch writer telling the story with him.
Mm-hmm.
I thought his art was better in that than because I think he even inked his own work in Spider-Man. And he was already starting to become. The stages of him becoming a funhouse mirror of himself were already forming, but I absolutely loved his work on Amazing Spider-Man.
So Marnie brings up that Senior is an iconic Spidey artist. Bob Layton is an iconic Iron Man artist. Which wasn't there another one? It starts with the H that was an artist working on Iron Man. I guess or the T. I can't remember what his name is.
Well, George Tuska did a lot.
George Tuska, yeah. Bob Layton over Tuska?
That depends on one's preference. Layton to me is the quintessential Iron Man.
Or is it like Tuska is like the Ditko to Ramita?
Well, no. Tuska was good.
Yeah.
Well, he was stylized also. I just happen to like that style. Mm-hmm. Captain America and Thor, even though he wasn't on it for very long, people would probably say Simonson. I would say Kirby.
Yeah.
And the same with Captain America, because he stuck around on those books for a while.
I like Jack Kirby on Captain America.
But
I couldn't tell you the other artists are.
If you go further down the road, maybe Mike Zeck for Captain America.
So Kirby was on the first 100 Captain America?
Well, it started with
101. But I mean, like
with Tales 59.
For me personally, when you have 100, 101, 102, that series when he got his own title called Captain America.
But he was only on that for about a year before he went to DC.
Oh, who took over?
Steranko for 3 issues, then Colin, I think.
Yeah, because I love the art on those. Yeah, those early ones. I said Kirby took me forever to appreciate his art. I remember when we first started doing all this, and I told you and E is like just not a fan of Kirby, and I remember like everyone's just like pointing guns at me, like, "What do you say?" It's like I'm like, I don't like blockheads.
Yeah, well, you have to. I think part of your evolution is getting to where you appreciate the storytelling and make allowances for the art on some of these guys. Whereas some guys
will not.
Like Alex Ross can paint a wonderful picture.
Can't write,
but his sequential art doesn't flow like some.
Like McFarlane's art, even his is like when he draw Mary Jane stuff, it just didn't seem that great. I prefer the Ramita style.
John Buscema Thor, I can get behind that. He did a decent amount.
Well, John Buscema is also he did Conan, right?
Oh yeah, way more Conan.
So that makes more sense with him on Thor. Like if he draws it kind of like with doing this Conan, like the way this style on that, I liked that too.
Yeah, Henry. It's a shame that run didn't last longer. But I think Stern pissed somebody off.
But I'll just say this for Thor though, I really do like the Olivia Copiel. I know people didn't like that new look with the chainmail sleeves.
Well, that's just it. Like I said, I'm
yeah,
I have always favored the original look. I mean, why there were 4 circles on his torso, I have no idea.
There was 6 supposed to go down. Yeah, because originally he just had
but,
remember he always had the guns out. So when they covered up and they changed the helmet.
But it wasn't. Copiel didn't originate that. The hell they've been doing.
No,
there have been storylines where with they had Thor and chainmail long before that. So
I liked the fact that he looked like He-Man. How stacked and ripped he was. He looked like a god. He looked thick and all that stuff. He didn't look like a normal guy just holding a hammer.
No.
I know, and I still like the fact they went back and they had Donald Blake, and him would change. When Donald Blake was basically turned into Thor, Donald Blake's on his imaginary couch in the void, just watching TV.
One slick. As much as I like McNiven on her, the series prior to that with Steve Epting.
Yeah, Epting.
I think Epting and Brubaker are honestly. Like I said, Epting's a better artist than Sean Phillips.
Epting was on that book, Sarah, I believe, right, with Garth Ennis.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, he did. He did the art on the Captain America series, and then a series called Velvet that Brubaker wrote for Image. And I said I love that guy's art.
Leighton made Iron Man T-shirt material. Tuska was drawing him when he hit. It was like the armor was just like a collapsible. I kind of like when they switched it over, when it wasn't just like a fabric that you just basically electrocute it and then it becomes hard. No, I liked it before. I like when we got to the later series, like I said, in the 2000s, where the armor he had was put onto him, like you saw in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. That was really cool. What?
I kind of like the idea. I kind of like the days when he fit that entire armor in a briefcase.
Yes. I said I picked up the Silver Centurion for its appearance last week, and I got a few issues around that. When Rhodey and stops being Iron Man and he becomes Iron Man again, the Silver Centurion. So I love that.
I just read 189, 190, and 191 again today.
Yeah,
and I said if you can pull all the issues together, great. If not, there are 2 epic collections that basically is the entire Denny O'Neil run. That it's like I said, it gets lost in the Simonson, Thor, Miller, Daredevil, Claremont X-Men, Byrne FF, but story wise, it doesn't take a backseat to any of them. And if Luke McDonald had not been the penciler, I think that run would be talked about constantly to this day.
I never really read a lot of Iron Man, but I mean, as far as we know, how Peter Parker had his whole cast, a supporting cast. That was. Would you say right around that time is when he had the best supporting cast? It's like they had the most amount of people.
Who did
Iron Man?
In which I'm sorry, I was reading.
Okay, so
Henry's comment.
Darn you, Henry! Quit writing. No. What would you say the equivalent as far as run, as far as to Peter Parker's? Peter Parker's always had a great supporting cast in the very beginning.
Yeah. To me, when it was
for Iron Man,
for Iron Man, I would say honestly that run when you had the Morleys, Rhodey, prior to that, there'd always been, the girlfriends.
Yeah.
And it was never that expansive, but
so the Bethany McCabe, what is that considered around that time, or is that way
Bethany
after?
McCabe, she was gone by then.
Okay. So you're going, what issues would you be going by then? Back when he's back in the gold towards the 80s?
No, the Rhodey is Iron Man era.
Okay then. Yeah.
And then they, whoever was the writer in the early 200s decided to make Clemenestra a villain who sold Tony out and ended up getting killed. she basically got what she deserved, more or less.
But Marania saying, "You're wrong. It was the Rhodey Pepper Happy Miss Arbogast and Bethany during the late run."
I don't remember Pepper and Happy being in more than just like an occasional.
Yeah.
They even did somebody stop by their house and they had kids.
Yeah.
The kids got retconned under the rug.
Like I said, I like the fact you're going into the Gene Colan, even the Conway stuff, or Ross Andrews. Well, you have Harry, you have Flash, you have Gwen, MJ.
Yeah.
You know, I said like I love
Captain Stacy.
Yep.
Joe.
Yep.
Jonah.
Yeah. Such a huge
Aunt May, Anna
yes,
Watkins.
Yeah.
That they'll never top that.
Yeah. So that's what always drew me into Spider-Man was that stuff. You know, it's like, because Spider-Man was my favorite cartoon growing up. I watched the Batman. I watched Batman animated series.
Yeah, see, Ron, you're kind of making my point. There was
Yeah.
there were the girlfriends and the love interests, but yeah, I think that having the Irwin and Cly were that kind of. And they were in the right place at the right time because Tony was recovering from alcoholism. Oh, and I agree, Henry, that Keith Pollard deserved better than Chick Stone. But Chick Stone was about 90 at the time. He did work for AGC Comics in the 50s and 60s.
Marania, there's no need to put down Venom. Sorry. I understand you don't like the character, but I do like those Venom books. But I do agree. Why is it Micheline and Layton on an Iron Man book? Even if it's a throwback book, I would rather see more of them, those two working on Iron Man series, out of continuity, than
Marvel does not. Marvel does not want to be reminded of how good they were.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I because I said, and before anybody says, but they're leaving money on the table. Yeah, they leave money on the table every issue of Spider-Man that Peter and Mary Jane aren't a couple.
Yeah. Look at perfect example. Ultimate Spider-Man doesn't have much action, but you know what? A lot of fans love that book more than anything else is being published right now. Because they're giving what the people want.
If you sat through the old man State of the Union on comics, I mentioned that.
Yep. Yeah, see, I don't. You guys said it was State of the Union. I just as just two old guys arguing about comic books. Sadler and Morgoth.
Actually, there wasn't any arguing, which kind of
no. But I mean, yeah, I do. That's one thing I do appreciate. I don't watch Wes a lot, but I do like when I do watch. I do like what he talks about and what he says. Like I said, if you guys aren't subbed to Thick and Critical, check him out too. He's got a Patreon, which I think is interesting. It's like this guy is at the point where in his career he's like, I have a Patreon. If you want to see the full extra stuff, we're not going to show you. Breen it because Breen and him talked more, but we didn't get to see the full thing. If you're Patreon, you get to see what did they really all talk about afterwards. So it's like I'm like, I'll just ask Breen.
Most of it was we were talking sports.
See,
so you didn't miss anything.
So it's sports behind the Patreon wall. Yeah, you know what though? I've been liking what's coming out with these past weeks. As far as comic book news, the whole tariff thing. Dan Jurgens just proves to me that he is one of my top favorite writers. When he says, you know what, maybe we should have American comic books that are actually American comic books.
What a difference between one of the few conservatives versus all those nut bar leftists that were. But like I said, they knew they had a very limited time to trash Trump for this.
No,
because we all knew what was going to happen, and it did.
Well, even
within 2 days.
Wes had another thing out. It was him and Aaron were talking about. They said how stupid the math was. They weren't using math. These guys are comic book idiots.
I'll be right back.
I really, if you're gonna do American comics, they're not. Yeah, how horrible it is. They get to ship your comic books out to Canada. or you work out to Mexico and have them printed for cheap labor, and then put it on inferior quality paper. I remember when they had, I remember in the early 2000s when I got into comic books. I remember like Spider-Man's. You touch anything that was printed red was wet, and it is smeared. Oh, that pissed me off. I was like, why am I spending? What was I spending at the time? $2.99. Even then, I don't want to spend $2-3 and have something that's just going to wipe off my hand, smear, and it looks horrible. I'm the person that's always been raised. If you buy something, you take care of it, make it look nice. You don't want yourself looking like crap, because it reflects on you. You know, if your car looks like dirty, it reflects on you. It makes it look like you don't care about your car. Well, that comic books, I always try to keep them in nice condition. Now, being said though, I did have my own flaws. I did not know there was such a thing as bag and boards when I first started getting comic books, so I thought they were just like the magazines you see them at the grocery store. So some of mine had some dings and dents, and the corners were kind of folded up a little bit. But these were reader copies. These are books I just loved reading. But once I learned, like going into comic book stores, actually like, oh my gosh, there's actually like bags and boards for these things. Now I try to keep everything in mint condition. Now the new books, like, they're not really collectible. Some of these newer ones, they're not really like. Do I want to hold on to them? Maybe, yes or no. Will I ever read these again? Maybe if I'm doing a retrospective. But a lot of these are just kind of one and dones. But I still put them in bag and boards because I've just been brought up that mentality, and it's just the whole thing. Yeah, they didn't dry correctly and made the books look worse, and they got water soaked. Oh, like I said, some of those Spider-Man covers, they're red, and you knew the red and black ones. You're like, you could touch it, it's like, and it just smears across. Like the ink, it was horrible. It's come on. You call yourself the big, you guys, everybody know damn well, Marvel and DC are known as the big two. Put out quality books. Show that you actually are comic book fans, and hire people that actually are fans. I'm tired of the whole thing where I said Marvel and DC are guilty of this, more than anything else. You read something, oh, I love this version of whatever, and then the next team comes over. Yeah, that didn't matter, or they don't even address it. Either it's retconned or it's ignored, and they just they write something as it is. It's like, where is the accountability for the editors? They need to actually. I mean, that's the thing. They need editors. They need actually the publisher. They need the guys in charge. President. It's like, what is this bullshit? If you're gonna write something and have someone else take over, and then change it and retcon it, and then the next 3 people do the same thing, why are we even putting the book out? Like, I just, at this point, as I said, you're making the case for people who like manga. Like I said, when I can have one person on the book, either where they're doing the art or there's a story or both, and they'll write past 50 issues. You could, I guess, we cleverly in manga stuff, and they're not saying like, what, we're gonna put a new creative team on there. We're gonna ignore, say like a Goku, like Dragon Ball Z. You had Dragon Ball. Now imagine they put someone else on Dragon Ball Z, and they're like, yeah, what happened in Dragon Ball didn't matter, whatever. So we're gonna ignore that, start our own little thing. I don't like that in comic books, that they need someone who actually needs to have balls and say, so, you know what, you can't do that. Sorry. They need a Grunwald. They need a Jim Shooter. They need somebody who actually can stand up to these people and tell them, fuck off, pretty much. Excuse my language, but it irritates me, because no wonder my niece is like, I don't know where to start. And I tell her, like, I tell her, it doesn't really matter where you start, because it's just going to be retconned by the next team. And that's horrible with the newer stuff. I told her, if you want to read comic books and not have to worry about it just being retconned and just being completely ignored, read the volume 1s. Then it's Volume 1, Spider-Man Volume 1, Thor Volume 1, Thor would be an exception with Simonson, or Simonson. You heard it in I Love Comics. But yeah, it's just I don't wonder why people don't read new books today. It's not because I'm not even talking about putting in the gay and all the other stuff. Black Lives Matter. That has nothing to do with it. As I said, the fact that you can have someone come in and then they retcon something on existence, and then the next creative team comes on there, they start making a new number 1. That's the other bullshit. Is it starts a new number 1, starts over the new number 1, or they change the title, and then they completely ignore what happened. They don't. It's like a soft reboot. It's like, why would you want to come back and just be a long-term reader? So, I don't know.
Hey, I gotta shift gears for a second. Did you see Dynamite last night?
I did. Did you, if you're gonna bring up the Harley Cameron thing, I loved it.
I missed that, but what I didn't miss was timeless Mariah May.
Yes.
God, I turned over and she was like strutting around the ring, and it took me a second to realize it wasn't her.
It wasn't Mariah. It wasn't Mariah. It was Toni Storm.
Because when she transformed back into timeless Toni Storm the week before,
yeah,
and she's running around with her like granny bathing suit and barefoot,
the hair and stuff.
Like, she looked horrible. She looked great as Mariah May.
When she was Toni Storm, she looked good. It's just that's the whole. It's just the time was Toni Storm. She purposely puts the Marilyn Monroe kind of hairstyle, kind of the rollers and stuff. It just loved.
I said they can say whatever they want, but WWE dropped the ball on her big time.
They did. Harley Cameron. People go, oh, she can't wrestle, dude. Dude, she was awesome last night. Her whole skits she does with she's got a little puppet because she's a ventriloquist.
Yeah, I got to see if that got posted because I love her. I've loved every iteration of her, and they were smart to make her a face.
Yeah,
because people like her.
Oh yes, definitely. You said it's like feel the wrath. I'm waiting for next week because they did the Jericho Cruise, so eventually that'll be aired one of these days. But the Jericho Cruise match, I don't know if the Enzo and Big Cass will be aired.
I think if Tony Khan were smart, bring him back. I mean, I heard somebody say, God, another WWE cast off, but that hasn't stopped him for like 20 guys on the roster. So
I love MJF taking pot shots at these haters online. He said because the whole view with MJF or with Jeff Jarrett is like or AEW isn't all elderly wrestling.
Well, to be fair, that's clever, and going from Jarrett to Dustin Rhodes.
I want to see. I love Dustin Rhodes, man.
I do too, but MJF. Someone pointed out on Twitter that said he's lost his aura. He kind of has.
Yeah,
he was larger than life, and it just doesn't feel like that anymore.
So my thing is question what they're gonna do with him in the long term after all this stuff. Is they gonna have him go after the title again, go against Edge? Is Edge gonna win? If Adam Copeland wins against, he also got to deal with Christian Cage, who has a contract. He's gonna cash it eventually. But I don't know. It's
booking AEW.
Yeah.
Two things I'm moving in these directions. I'm moving MJF back into face territory because they need they need a top face that isn't going to leave to go climb Mount Everest. Because make no mistake, it hurts them not having him there. But but he also doesn't fit the suit.
When he's there, he doesn't really do much at all. Him being a tough guy.
He can be, when you think of like the face of a company, MJF at least kind of looks the part. And I would move Christian and Copeland towards a tag team for one last ride while there's still time.
So here's the thing. Remember we hate the Death Riders and all that BS? Well, guess what? They did something about that in this episode last night. They had Jay White was talking to Renee out. He was about to come into the building. Here comes the Death Riders, and then Jay's like, and you see Jay White. He's like the problem with Death. He's like, this might be a problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, and he counts them, and he goes 6, 7, 8, because FTR and Edge were behind him, and they just basically beat the shit out of them.
But
so that at the end they came out again, and then they defended themselves against it too. So making John Moxley look weak. So
I just either either expand the membership and have different coalitions go against them. If you're going to use that as an excuse to like maybe turn the Hurt Syndicate face.
Well, Hurt Syndicate right now is going to get up going against the Young
Guns.
Yeah, Guns. Give back,
But because right now, I'm sorry, 4 guys, no matter how tough they are, aren't going to beat up an entire company.
I have a feeling that he's going to drop the title to Cope.
Well,
that's their plan.
I don't know if that's a smart idea either. Because right now, AEW doesn't feel like it did the first 3 years. And it's not because Cody was there. It's not because Punk was there. It just seems like it's just we're just going to throw anything out there to see if any of it sticks.
Yes.
Now,
obviously, I want MGF to be back to being on the face card, or at least what he was before. Get him off this thing. But I know they're trying to push like the whole use Adam Copeland and with Mox and stuff. But there's ways to do it. You can have the Hurt Syndicate, or not the Hurt Syndicate, but he can have his group break up. And I don't know if Daniel Bryan's coming back or no. Bryan Danielson. I think he's done. But never say never.
Tell you what, for somebody that was I kind of considered a joke a couple years ago, the Guns look legit,
dude. Gets the Hurt thing, and he calls them ass boys, and he's like, you know what? We are ass boys. We got
damn right we are.
Yeah, I love that.
Now, hopefully, it's not just to feed them to Lashley and Benjamin, because
I hope not.
In all honesty, I said, as good as they are, they're the present. I don't know how much of the future they are, and that's my problem with. If you give the only way I want to see Copeland get the belt is if he gets the belt and instantly turns uber heel, saying you idiots all bought it, and then and where he's
Well, that's the thing. I thought about that. It's like if he gets that, and then Edge and him team up.
Now,
when Edge and Christian team up,
Christian finally do.
Yeah.
It needs to be his faces because of their age, but depending on how long Copeland's going to be there,
they could just do heels
because they could. He could get the belt and turn heel, and then you could shift some things. Like I said, you could. Find a way to turn Friedman face again. I wouldn't mind better than you, baby, if Adam Cole finds a gym.
I want if Killswitch comes back, returns as the Dragon guy, whatever his name was before that. Luchasaurus. Yeah, like I know he's been doing some stuff medically stuff. He had an infection and all stuff.
Where's Jack Perry? Where are the Young Bucks? Where are any of these people?
The Young Bucks have been in New Japan.
Well, I mean that's great, but
Well, I mean,
Tony
everybody seems to hate them. So.
Well, everybody they hate what they've become, but all they have to do is just tweak the formula. And I said I don't think they work. I don't think they work at this point in their career. I don't think being shit heels is the right thing
for me. It's like when the Hardy Boys, after a while, the Hardy Boys, when it came back in the WWE, they did their run to get champions up. After a while, I get bored with the Hardy Boys, Jeff and stuff. They're not because they're not used well. It's just that they have their it factor is temporary.
That's right. Yeah, Henry's bringing up Naked Jungle again.
Yeah,
someday I'll watch it. Something else I would do, or if Copeland wins the belt, FTR comes in the ring to celebrate with him, and it beats the living shit out of him. The FTR doesn't have a personality between them. They should be heels. They could be aggressive, balls out heels.
Make them the Usos.
No, just like I said, because they're stale.
So for me, the FTR works when they're just going for tag team gold by themselves and they're going against the other champions. Like,
but I want to see him as heels, because they said they're just I said they're I could see them doing some kind of like Arn and Tully type of work. They were great heels, and they weren't bigger than anybody they fought, but they won, and they worked as heels, and I would like to see that with FTR.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we're getting told we left the chat behind. Sorry, kids.
Marania, I don't see a super chat. Expect me to acknowledge the chat? We're a big YouTube channel here. We don't do that. What do you think this is? I love comics? Actually, if it was, you'd be skipped all the time. We'd just skip your comment.
You know who would be enjoying this stream if he were watching?
Aaron Sparrow?
Rod.
Oh, I was going to say Aaron Sparrow because you're shitting on AEW.
I was watching Wes and Aaron's video today.
Mm-hmm. He made a comment. He's like Dave Meltzer.
It's like you
he can't help himself.
You don't know when it's coming, but you know it's coming.
Oh, I love that. All right, serious question. If something truly egregious in continuity, example, One More Day, is a good retcon to follow up with. Is it a good retcon to follow that up with it didn't happen, a dream? I've always said that. You know what? People roll their eyes, but guess what? If you tell a good enough story, they don't care how it's retcon. They're just glad it's gone.
I'll tell you an example.
Original Sins.
Or Sins Past, or whatever that.
Sins Past. Yeah.
Nick Spencer had a great way to get out of that. And I would have tried. God, I can't believe it. The man that gave us Nazi Cap.
I know, right?
we were pinning our hopes on. Speaking of, you know, J. Michael Straczynski, throws Joe Quesada under the bus for mandating these two wretched storylines. Did you see Quesada's involved with a new comic book company?
Did not know.
Guess who's going to work for him?
CC Loboski?
Straczynski.
Straczynski.
Can't be too mad at him if he's going back to work for him.
Well, here's the thing, if Straczynski goes over there and maybe he loses this weird politics thing he's putting in his books and actually starts putting compelling stories like he used to do.
I just think it's funny that he's going to go back to work for the guy that he claimed screwed up his career twice with those storylines. But then again, I remember Terry Bollea testified against Vince McMahon in a federal court and then went back to work for him. So
here's the thing. Maybe One More Day was Straczynski's idea.
Oh, I don't think so. Too much evidence to the contrary. Now, Straczynski had more than his share of bad ideas on his run.
I mean, you saw what he did Captain America with the Antifa and all that stuff, and just,
He's just getting left ear by the One More Day and Sins Past. Those weren't political. Those were just bad ideas.
They were Eric Larson and bad ideas.
Henry, we need to get Vegman and I. If left unchecked, we'll go off the rails, and we need you guys to Hey,
wrestling and comic books are the only two things that me and my pocket bond over. You start going to sports, I'm like, is it Mad Men in box time yet? It's like
you wound me to my apple core with that.
Yeah, I like apple cores; they're great. They left us behind for wrestling. The problem, Ronnie, is when they take alternative universe or what if stories and cram them into canon, and they create never-ending plot holes they can't fix without a major overhaul of story arcs. It sounds like what DC does with their events. Marvel's been doing it too. This will change the whole Marvel universe. You said that 17 times now. I've not seen it change once. The only way Marvel and DC will shock me now is two things. Either overnight, everyone is race swapped. And they're now gay in wheelchairs. The other way is that Marvel decides, you know what? We fire all the Whisper Network, all the D hires, and we bring back original writers that are still around. We start hiring Layton to put him on an Iron Man book. David Michelini, he's either on Spider-Man or Iron Man, one of the two. They start putting actual writers in, and they actually start letting them write stories. One of those is a pipe dream. I'll let you figure out which one it is. But
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I was watching sports.
all right. Which part did you like? The part where they're linking arms, or the part they're kneeling?
I see where the NFL's taking end racism out of the end zones.
Really? They finally did it.
But they left in the black national anthem for the Super Bowl.
Of course it did. Oh, did you here's something I need to point out. For those of you who didn't, if you didn't know it's Black History Month, well, you'll find out if you go to McDonald's. Angel Reese is on the freaking cup. She has her own meal.
Well, so is Travis Scott, and
I've not seen anything. I didn't see Travis Scott. I did not see Caitlin
I
Clark.
had a Travis Scott meal the other day.
Yeah.
There's a Caitlin Clark meal there, is there?
No, of course, because she's not she's white.
There ain't no crackers in McDonald's.
I was just laughing my ass off. I'm like, oh, that's right. It is Black History Month because now they have Angel Reese meal. I'm like, who the fuck gives a care about Angel Reese? You know, it'd be awesome if it was like Bloody McNuggets, you know, because that's what she does. She hurts her opponents.
No, she's not the one that does that.
Remember Angel Reese versus King Clark?
No, that wasn't her. That was one of the other angry lesbians.
How do you tell them apart, bro? When they all act the same. They said a lot of these, you know, I don't care what their skin color is. When a girl acts like a 4-letter word that I can't say to another girl, and then they all start doing that and they get away with it. I don't care. You can be Mexican, black, white, whatever. That shit is horrible. And they said that's the reason why the WNBA isn't popular, because no one cares. Unless their idea is to turn it into hockey, we're going to have fights. Then I'm going to watch.
The WNBA had a chance, but they not only turned on Caitlin Clark, she bent the knee, got woke as hell, and the Caitlin Clark effect wore off.
Oh, the other good news is that Carlos Jr., aka Hardy's, is released an ad with a hot girl. A real girl.
Yep.
Do you remember the last time they did this? It was during the Super Bowl. I remember, I'm not sure which one it was, but they had Charlotte McKinney in the top.
Remember when they did the commercial where the original Carlos Jr. came back and he was an older actor, and turned out that it was his immature son that was doing all those, cheesecake commercials, but he was there to set him straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, who would have thought, they would actually get real women in bikinis or just bikini tops squirting the juice and hitting a guy in the face over there and having an orgasm. I it's just so. Oh, I'm so offended by it. Why wasn't it Dylan Mulvaney? Why wasn't it Lizzo?
I said sanity is returning.
Yeah, it seems that way. The problem, Marty, is that most or the old writers are doing better on their own than when they were working for the big two. Yeah. Well, I know a few of the older writers. I mean, some of them have obviously passed away since then, or just dropped off the face of the earth. What's John Byrne up to? Has anybody heard from him? Is he alive?
Wherever he is, he's crabby.
Because he doesn't go to conventions. Not that I know of. Can you imagine if John Byrne went to... Was he what? A couple years older than you? Early 70s? Or late 60s?
I'd say probably late 60s at this point.
Yeah. He just got fed up with the business and left, Or was he kicked out? Because where was Byrne last? At DC? Or was he at Marvel? Hey, what's up, comic and tortillas? Just talking some comic news, random stuff, Well, if you go back and watch on the replay, we showed off the books we got this week. Plus, I showed off a shit ton of back issues that I either got gifted here by Eric Breen or I found it at my comic store at my dollar bins. So a lot of cool stuff. Just talking about just shooting the shit about current stuff and fairs going on right now. Talked about the new Carl's Jr. actually having a good commercial. Wouldn't recommend anybody eating it though. Not a big fan of Carl's Jr. Hardee's, which is actually the other name they have here in the Midwest, actually has decent burgers sometimes. Just like Burger King. I'm not a big fan of that, but sometimes they have a good burger out. Right now, McDonald's has the Angel Reese meal you get. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of cool stuff coming on this week, and next week is Spider-Man Omnibus number 6, I think it is. Volume 6, I think Henry was talking about that the other night, Tuesday night. So, so comics, did you pick up anything today? Or for the what do you get for this week? Curious to see what you're reading. Whenever another comics channel pops in. Are you big on the X-Men, or are you just kind of like going more indies these days? What is your pull list? And I know Marania is kind of still dabbling with some of the Iron Man stuff. I don't know if you're still. I think she dipped out. One's like, dude, what is your what are you into these days? Comics and Tortilla says I picked up a Daredevil paperback. Is that the modern Daredevil, like current series, or like the older one? Eric Breen, and then okay, I was pretty much done in 1985. Image stuff, Break Batman's Back, Superman Dies, alternate covers, holograms, all that crap. Just didn't care. Wait, so there's a new Daredevil that came out this week? Trade. Did we go over that?
Mm-hmm.
Breen, you have a better memory than I do. As everyone says when we're on a channel. You're like, huh? Let me look. Trades and front covers. What came out this week? Oh, I want variants. Trades this week. All right. Oh, the Born Again Frank Miller one. Cool. Yeah, nice. Yeah. So are you into just collecting older trades, or are you just kind of like doing a little bit of floppies still here and there, or like I said, like I know some older readers who've been in the hobby longer are no longer interested in what's being written by some of these new writers, but they will collect older trades like that. Like I managed to get the complete Frank Miller run of all the volumes, but I've gone back and also my hobby is personally, when it comes to trades, I like getting the original trades, the original older ones, the first ones it came out with, versus some of the newer, updated ones. I just like the way they look. I'm still suffering through the Iron Man. I still owe Captain Frugal reviews on issues 3 and 4. Captain Frugal still needs to come on this channel so he can review Avengers number 4 for those. Spider-Man Omnibus number 6, then I'll be done. I got all the books I want. Only need a back issue here and there. What's that like to be done with comic books? I remember I had it for like a couple of years and I saved about $4,000. I did the math. Jeez. That was before the price hike. I came back in 2019. I blame I Love Comics and Breen. Because I was not reading until you guys started doing that We've Got Issues thing on Monday nights. You guys started doing reviews. And I got into the Jonathan Williamson Flash. I started reading that because I quit around 2015. I just got done with everything. New 52 put a sour taste in my mouth, and I just all new, all different. Female Thor, and then Frogurt, Amadeus Cho is the Hulk. And I was just like, my Spider-Man, who had been forever ruined from me with the whole One More Day thing, I was just like, there's nothing here for me to read anymore, you know. And I never was into DC. 2019, I picked up that first Flash just on a whim, and I started reading. I was like, oh, this is actually interesting. So I started reading more and more, and eventually started a channel with a friend, and here we are, you know, 4 years later. Yeah. But great sci-fi channel show, MK. There might be comics for it. What channel? What are we talking here? Farscape. There are comic books for it. The Peacekeeper War. They actually did it was actually done in comic book form. That was the movie that they made for the final series. It was the story basically of them raising their kid. So Farscape, yeah, Jim Henson, I love that. Well, obviously it wasn't Jim Henson on there, but it was basically his son Brian, teaming up with Sci-Fi and did a Australian TV show, sci-fi show with Ben Browder and Claudia Black, using the basically the Brian or the Jim Henson Muppets stuff, you know, and it was really done really well. It was probably one of the biggest series they had at Sci-Fi, on the Sci-Fi Channel at the time in the late 90s. And then they canceled it because they wanted to bring in Stargate SG-1, which was an inferior show. I don't care what he says. It's boring. Yeah. But I hope you like that. I got the hook. I managed to get the box collection a couple years back. Love it. Also picked up a huge Marvel Age Treasure Edition review of it on my channel. Shameless plug. Hey, nothing wrong with that. We're watching us talk about, you know, this random stuff. You know, you missed the wrestling part though. We're talking about AEW, so sometimes Eric Brino go into the weeds and start talking about our love of wrestling, or wrestling versus superstars, right? What do we call it? WE is superstars. AEW is elite wrestlers. Eric Brino, where were you born and how old were you when you got your first books? Well, back when they had the 15 tablets, the 50 commandments, you know, first comic book. No, you're what, 63 this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you were born in 62.
Mm-hmm.
And your first comic book, I'm trying to remember. You talked about so many times. Oh, was it a Marvel book?
It was a couple Marvels and a couple DCs.
It was during the 1970s, right? One of the series.
Iron Man, Fantastic Four, Superman, Action Comics, Batman, Detective Comics. I think were the first.
But I think you narrowed it down to your first one, didn't you? I think you did.
Fantastic Four and Iron Man, I think, might be the first two that I remember.
Yeah. Was that during the Galactus Second Coming?
No, that was.
When did Galactus come back for the second time? You know, and then they get the.
I want to say like a couple years before I started collecting.
Okay. Okay, you're still talking about the sci-fi show. Boom Studios, yeah, did one, yeah. I think it might be the same one I'm talking about before, but cool being done. I still want a couple issues. Okay, I already read that one. Let's see here. Well, I didn't know they had a clue how big Farscape was. Dude, Farscape has a huge cult following. They still do conventions. Virginia Hay, who is from the Living Daylights. She was a Bond girl. Is in there. Ben Browder, it was so weird because him and Claudia Black, like after their show got canceled, Farscape, Claudia Black went over to Stargate SG-1 and was on there as a love interest for Danielson, who was basically like the nerd in there. And then then later on, she's like, you know, because she's still best friends with him, with Ben Browder, who plays the main guy, John Crichton. She got him a job on there as a soldier, and they tell stories about how they basically like they're like try to like because they're such close friends, and they were lovers on Farscape. So they try to joke around. It's like as our characters like, what if Daniel gets cheated on, and she comes with gets with the soldier here, and it's like there's this. They were not allowed by producer stuff. They basically kind of hang out because they were just too much they're goofing off, having fun. They couldn't trust them.
Hey,
Lakers.
I'm gonna have to jump off here. I'm getting really tired.
I'm gonna end it soon. You had a long day at the record store, just watching records. Does that one guy still come in?
What guy?
The guy who come in just kind of look at something and then not buy anything.
That's half people that come in the store.
Real quickly, Comics and Tortillas says my first comic I can remember picking up at comic book was X-Men #1. Ooh, cool. No idea how I got that line at the comic store. Yeah, still talked about as one of the better selling comic books back in the day. All right, and Marnie says Farscape the series and the movie are both on Tubi and the Roku channel. All right. And with that being said, if you haven't already done so, click the like button, subscribe. And if you want to support the channel, go ahead. You can do a couple different ways. You can share out the stream, even if we're not live. Share out the stream with your friends, family, whatever, coworkers, your dog. Go to ko-fi.com/Puppetine if you want to help support the channel. You can do it that way too. And leave a comment down below if it helps with the algorithm. And guys, check out Comics and Tortillas right here. Check out his channel. Give him a sub. All right. And we'll see you guys later. Tomorrow night on the Geeky Puppet Show, we will be doing our readings. We have 2 readings we ham them up. And those will be starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. Will be the first reading. So, all right, guys. Yeah, you take care, Henry, and you're welcome. Comics. Good night, once again. Good night, Marania, and good night, anybody else who's watching but is not talking. Later, guys. Have a good weekend.
Good night, kids.